You know what I've been trying? Rujin from Malicious actually told me to try it a while ago, and I only started recently. Was
you mean from SSA?
I mean,
Yeah,
SSA.
he's an SSA now.
Oh, he's an SSA?
Yeah, he is.
What?
You didn't know this, right?
Join on Sunday.
Bro, I'm fucking on Asia server, man. You think I hear everybody that farts in global? Bro, relax.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
I don't hear all this shit, bro.
You lurk every single Twitch stream.
I should have known that. I didn't pay attention. Aloha, everybody. Welcome back to another podcast. As you can see, we got a good team today. Yeah, we have Ken Baller, SWC Americas Cup first qualifier. We have Stoic, we have Makeabud, who also did the casting for SWC. We got Thompsin, who was also an SWC, and we got Tyler. Yeah, doesn't have an LD Nat 5. Yeah, so very awesome cast that we got going on today. And
that's what I get for the raid invite comments every single time.
But really not have a single LD?
No, none. I've done 588 scrolls. No LD5 yet.
Oh, that's brutal. You count every single one, or do you log it, or like?
I've counted every single one because I've streamed 560 something of them.
That's crazy, dude.
So even your first one, all the way from Fame 1, you've counted that?
Yeah, pretty much. So there's a chance that I missed 5, so I could be 5 over where I am, but I don't count them because I'm not 100% sure.
Damn.
Yeah, I can't confirm that too because I have 6,000 hours of Summoners War streamed.
That's crazy, dude.
Damn.
Streamed, not just played. Streamed.
That's ridiculous, dude.
Hey, maybe this month TOA.
Dude, maybe I mean, it could be this month because we got Street Fighter bonus. It's my birthday on Friday, and maybe I get lucky.
Are you buying the Street Fighter pack?
Yeah, I probably will for Friday.
Cool.
All right, sick.
I really want Light and Dark Chun-Li. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, the light one especially. They both seem pretty dope. But I've been summoning it for everybody, and I'm kind of I'm itching as well. I'll probably do some summons eventually for Street Fighter Scrolls. But all right, we're gonna talk about Street Fighter units today. We're definitely gonna be talking about SWC today. But as always, before we start off, right? And is there anything anybody wants to start off with? Right? We always like to ask. Thompson usually has some things to say. So
I
anything
do
today?
I have something to say. I have something to say to the community today.
What's up, dude? Go ahead.
Yeah, I've always supported the community. You know, I felt like it was my job to provide for the community, whether it's like end game content or just like entertainment or just my runes, streaming alone. I looked out for the community. You could see that from my dedication to the podcast, even though at times I can't stream. You know, I think I've been like the longest, most consistent podcaster on here.
Yep.
But I support Brian, and I support everyone supporting Brian as well. So I've been good for the community. Everyone knows that. I wake up in the morning not knowing if today is the day where I lose my community. Like, it's a wrap. Like, the community had enough. It would be really easy for you guys to not support me, actually, especially like during this time. You know, it's really easy to hate, point fingers, you know, let out your frustration. Yeah. But actually, a lot of people didn't do that. A lot of people supported me. At least everyone on this podcast, a lot of content creators, a lot of my friends, you know. And I know Guild vs. Guild and America's Cup is supposed to be something that unites the community together, you know. Now the community is like torn in half again. And, you know, it's something that I have a real hard time dealing with because I feel like it's all my fault, you know. I mean, we try to justify the fact that, you know, it's one video from one person 2 years ago, and it could be easily fabricated or misunderstood. But the reality is it happened because of me. That's the reality of it, you know? And that's something I have to carry forever, you know? I hate seeing the community like this. It's very not the Summoners War I grew up or known. I remember like staying up and it's like 1 a.m. in the morning, which is really crazy because everyone that knows me knows like I sleep early, like literally like old man 7 p.m. in the morning, 7 p.m. at night. I fall.
This man goes to bed early, gets up early.
Yep.
But in preparation of America's Cup, I was up since like till like 1 a.m. and it's just me and my 2 computer monitors, you know, and of course Summoners War. And as all you guys all know, like me, I'm kind of old school. I have like my little Bible with me, and the Bible just had like 2 pages. It's just one page had titled Justin, and the other has titled Jeff. You know, and I was staring to one monitor, and that monitor has like everyone's spreadsheets and their YouTube gameplays, you know, and the other was blank, you know, but had light behind me. So like, you know, all I saw was a reflection of myself, you know, and I was like, oh, you know, what would I say to me, you know, like what would I say to me, knowing all the pain that I've been going through, you know, that the community is going through, and my friends that are helping me or feel passionately about me are going through. And I don't know if I want to keep continuing, you know? Like so many people hurt from defending me, right? You know, there's IslandGrown with his dislikes and his YouTube. He doesn't deserve it. Patrick getting banned on his Twitch because he felt passionately about it, you know? It's a little hard for me to talk right now, but just like
take your time, we're chilling.
I feel really passionately about this, and just even people trying to vindicate me with comments and stuff, and other people just trying to make them look dumb, you know, hurting them, you know. First of all, I don't want them to defend me. You know, I hate seeing others hurt them. That's why I never asked for it, you know. I've been really like quiet. If anyone has an issue with me, they could just confront me, you know. They don't have to get others involved. You know, they're not lonely. You don't need people to follow you. You know, people that know me know who I am and know what I'm about. And that stuff is not my thing, you know? So if other people want to think differently, then that's on them. But yeah, that's all I want to say.
Okay. Cool. Thanks for starting up. That was real deep, Thompson. And I know the whole situation, everybody, if you guys haven't, you know, heard, I'm sure it's going on everywhere, right? So all over the community, people are talking about it. I think the one thing that I dislike about situations like this is the way that certain people and groups of people, whenever they get the opportunity to jump on any type of drama, on any type of person, they'll jump on it. They'll bandwagon it. They'll get people to get pitchforks. Even people that, you know, like Thompson, people that are with Thompson, the moment they hear something, right? Something false about something, or something that seems negative about a person, they don't even go for the facts. They don't even wait to hear from the person. They just jump aboard and they just, you know, pitchfork it up, right? I think in this day and world, I talked about this yesterday on stream. Everybody likes that negativity, right? That's me. That's why I always take the positive side of things, because I think it's harder to do that and it's easier to take the negative side. So, you know, I would say for people out there, I mean, take the time, make opinions, and figure out the facts yourself. Don't just listen to what everybody says, right? And at the end of the day, if you want to figure out what's actually really going on, sometimes taking the time to go to the source yourself, right? Or waiting for the source yourself and hearing the sides of every situation is the best. Yeah, instead of extrapolating, you know, stuff like that. I don't know if you guys want to add to any of that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely want to add to that. I want to say I don't mind the people that are following the other people or bandwagoning or pitchforking me. You know, our guild SSA we're not perfect and we are very human. Ken Baller's very human. Chris, Stoic is part of SSA too, you know, me, everybody involved in this situation, you know. But then there's a destructive motive behind this propaganda, you know. And it's fueled by hatred and sadness, you know? And I know they're passionately hurt by the Loomis situation. So, you know, they're just like, let's get someone else banned on the other team, you know? Let's dig up as much as we can. And, you know, if people could see the destructive motive behind this propaganda, they will start discovering the answers they're looking for, you know?
Yeah, I think that... it's in the one thing also that I hate is that people will use this video game and things that happen in a video game, because you have to remember it is a video game, to judge somebody's, you know, character and who they really are. You know what I mean? I hate that, right? Because I know you guys all personally, but I guess people online don't, right? So they judge everybody based upon, you know, online stuff, and I hate that. I hate that a lot. I guess if you want to finish it off, Thompson, if you want to clear up anything that, you know, you wanted to say lastly about the topic, just because, you know, people want to probably hear from you, right? Just clear it up, and yeah.
You know, I'm not here to vindicate myself or vindicate my friends, but thanks for everyone that supported me and been with me through this hard time, you know. And I appreciate like everyone that's here still. Yeah, I love you guys.
All right, cool. All right, Anyways, let's dive into the podcast. That was a little bit of a deep start. I apologize, everybody. I don't know if everybody was ready for that.
I don't even know what to say.
Deep. It takes balls to come out and start hit the nail on the hammer, or like, confront it head on, man. So I just gotta say, props, dude. And I do think community has been toxic, right? And it's the internet, dude. People are the more opinionated ones are always going to be loud, and
The worst part about starting like this is people's gonna think like I'm trying to change their mind. I'm not trying to change their mind, and a lot of people are gonna say,
"I get where you're coming from."
Yeah, and the worst part is a lot of people's gonna take what I say out of context. But I'm just trying to be as real as I can.
I think it's for better, whatever the hell it is, right? Whatever happens has happened, right? But the way I look at it is like people generally are quick to hate. But you don't take the time to like appreciate your content creators and people that actually give you that knowledge, right? If I can count, the number of high end, meaning like top 50, top 100 players and the knowledge that they bring, so maybe I can count on one hand the number of people that give you that high end knowledge. And of those 5 people or 10 people or 7, maybe my hand's got 6, 7 fingers. I think at least I don't, people can get tired of the game and quit. So, public can be quick to hate, but appreciate what you have while it's here, right?
Yeah, I think it's just the way the community is. Like anytime people can find something to hate on, there goes the saying. And I'll be honest, through my lifetime of being a content creator, right, and creating content from day one till now, I have received a lot of hate as well, right? I still receive it every day. I just have really thick skin, right? I don't really give a fuck, you know what I mean? Like I meme, I joke, but the biggest hates I get personally as well, I'll open up a bit, is that a lot of people can't accept who I am. That I'm like this funky, weird guy. Like, there's no way that this guy has this much energy all the time. This guy is like so fake. He can't be real IRL. He can't be this stupid IRL. And I can honestly say it's gotten better in the years because people have seen me and I've met people IRL, and I'm pretty stupid IRL. I'll crack the same jokes and I'll be probably way more stupid IRL. So yeah, I'll just say one thing though. Haters are always gonna hate, man. People that don't like you, right? We understand that. People that don't like you, and they don't like you for a specific reason that they heard, right? Whether it's true or false. Once they find out that that statement is actually false, or that thing about you is false, they'll hate you even more because they get that hate in you brewed up for the wrong reason. So they feel so stupid for it that they hate you even more for it. That's what I've gone through a lot as well. So end of the day, man, positivity is harder to do than negativity. So challenge yourself a little bit in life. I would tell people that. All right, try to be a little bit more positive as much as you can. And I think it'll be better for everybody. So that's what I have to say on it. Let's dive right into the topics that we have here today. Let's go to topic number 1. Topic number 1 is, as you can see, the reason why we have all these people here is SWC Americas Cup qualifier. Yeah, as I did say, Ken actually made it. Yeah, Thompson unfortunately didn't make it though. Stoic and Making Up were actually the commentators. So yeah, also Tyler, also no LD-Nat 5. But let's go ahead and discuss, some of the things that occurred.
That's why I can't compete, clearly. No LD-Nat 5 means my entry coupon is just gone. When you sign up for SWC, the first requirement is how many LD-Nat 5s do you have, and if it's less than 1, they just instantly delete your application.
Do you have a Molly?
I have 2.
Oh, nice.
So what you're trying to say is that
you just need to be top 100.
So what you're trying to say is that your application to join SWC was deleted, but Fate Mem, who doesn't have an LD-Nat 5, slid through an accident, so they gave him bad luck so he wouldn't make it through. I get it.
That's why you lose it every year, because they're like, wait, this guy doesn't have an LD-Nat 5. We can't use him to promote buying Light and Dark Scrolls. So he's not allowed to win. It doesn't work that way, right? Because if Josh won, then everyone would be like, oh, you don't actually need LD-Nat 5s. I don't need to spend on LD packs. It doesn't work for the marketing team, They had to just slide in that little bit of unlucky nature.
Yeah, I love the pro sides, man. All right, let's talk about some of the matches. Maybe let's start off. There's a lot to talk about for SWC, right? I want to actually start off maybe with Stoic and Make About it. Let me hear your experience so far with commentating. How you enjoyed it? How was it to commentate over it? What did you enjoy? And what was your favorite match? Right? Either of you guys can start. You guys can go off each other.
I'm gonna let Stoic go first on this.
Oh boy, you were always going first too.
I know.
Change your pace now. COVID screwed it all up, man. I'll tell you that. Like, this usually is supposed to be so much fun. Like, you're going out there, hanging out with everybody, and then you're casting, doing the thing. COVID really just made this a not very enjoyable time. A lot of time spent at the hotels, and then honestly, there was a lot of time at the studio still not doing anything, where we would have loved to do like more reps and everything. This year, not like last year. OGN Studios was super nice. We were spoiled last year. Not so spoiled this year, but you know what? It is what it is. We had a good time. We made the best of what we had. Couple of our broadcasts, some technical issues. Our third broadcast being our best broadcast when it came to technical issues. I don't know if any of you guys read any of the technical issues. Some of them were very visible, and some of them were not.
We're very audible.
But it was still a good experience. It's always fun commentating. I've always enjoyed it, and I think I like to share, my style, I guess, of commentary, even though some people aren't the biggest fans. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had, like everyone knows, a lot of upsets. This is probably the SWC that had the most upsets. When you see all those big names not make it around the first time, and new names making it up their first time around. And then once again, seeing old names falling once again. Damn it, Josh! Damn it.
I know.
But it was still a good show.
Crazy. What match did you enjoy the most, though, Stoic? I'll let you.
Trockmu. Or honestly, it's two because I called them both from the very beginning. I couldn't wait to see Ken Baller run through this tournament, and he did. And I wanted to see how well Trockmu was going to play. He did great throughout his matches. Zavarius being his first matchup. After Zavarius, was it Dreams Joseph? That was a big wall for him to climb, and he did it. So probably Trockmu, Ken Baller. I'm going to go split with both those guys. I thought they performed fantastic. And I'll probably leave it at that one. Save some for Chris here.
I mean, yeah, I know exactly what you mean when you said COVID screwed everything. Because like last year, there's an audience that's there, live audience. It changes a lot. Like there's fans there, there's hype, there's players walking on stage. It's cool. Like it's a live event. You're in a studio. You go to the front, you do your thing, you got your green screen, blah, blah, blah. You just talk, and that's it, right? And it could also just be like the environment that we're like OGN spoiled. So it was just this big arena. You knew, even during the prelims, you knew that down the line, this thing would be filled with hundreds of people. So you knew what was coming, and it was just amazing. Not to say this is bad. I always love commentating and giving my thoughts, right? And being able to break down plays. But, compared side by side, last year was a little bit more, I would say, more fun. But maybe it could also be a factor. Last year I lived in downtown LA. Now I'm up in the Bay, so I have to drive 350 miles each time. It's been tiring, dude. But aside from COVID, we still did get to have dinner with some of the guys. On Sunday. Yep. KBQ, so that was pretty fun. That was awesome.
Oh, KBQ, man, damn, that sounds so
good. For those of you guys that weren't here, y'all missed out. Sucks to be you.
Oh man.
But October 24th, Ken Baller's paying for dinner, so come by. A favorite matchup. Honestly, my favorite matchup. I gotta say it's a J-Mac Thompsin one. I know Thompsin, you kind of got the short end of the stick there. But it was my favorite because it was the most technical draft I saw in terms of speed. This is a straight up speed battle of if I ban the speed, how do I pick around speed leads to know the turn order of the draft? And I thought Jeff navigated that almost as perfectly as you could. Very textbook, balancing speed, threat, and control. You don't get to see that level of mastery of that draft very often, so I liked that a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Jeff played really well.
Yeah, he did. He did. I would say in terms of drafting, probably one of the best, if not the best drafts I've seen all tournament. So props to him. And obviously, it showed he did it. I don't want to spoil, but he took his note. Like he saw his prep after the fact. The man did his homework. So that to me was my favorite. Just seeing just knowing the prep that went into it. When you see the picks, you know the prep that went into it. It was a very well drafted match. So that was my favorite.
Okay, fair enough. That's cool. I mean, I'm glad you guys had a great time commentating. I mean, like Stoic and Make It About It was also saying how they got to have Kareem Barkley. Like just that atmosphere of everybody being there and being at an event it really kind of killed SWC this year. You know what I mean? it was getting crazier and crazier from year to year. Watching this from the first SWC to the second to the third, like it got better and better every year. We had more people, everybody was meeting each other. It was getting crazier. Last year we had meetups, and then just to see it all kind of dissipate this whole year because of, you know, COVID sucks, dude. It sucks so bad, bro. Like I hope things get better, and you know, next year's will be crazier, but I think for the rest of the year, I mean, I think SWC is the way it is, right? It's just going to be online like this. So, I mean, it'll be fun to watch, right? With the crazy matches and the names that we're familiar with. But it does suck that we lose that kind of interaction and atmosphere, being able to be with each other live. Like, even, you know, for some of you guys that, you know, are like, hey, I can't even come to those events. I still, like, tried to vlog, right? We have people that did vlogs and made contents and videos of being there. I mean, just those experiences shared with everybody is going to be very missed this year, for sure. Let's go on to some of the players here. Could start off with I guess we can go with Thompsin first. I guess since you know, making a brought up the match with JMac and stuff. How's your experience with SWC? You know, how do you feel you played, and you know, what you're gonna take for it, you know, to move on into maybe even next year?
Like I said last year, like when I played against Feint, I was more prepared. But then when it got towards the mindset of playing against JMac, you guys know my little notebook. This is how much notes I've taken of Justin and Jeff. It's literally blank page, right?
Oh man.
Yeah. So like I didn't do any preparation. Like I said, I just stared into the screen, and I just started asking myself questions, you know. So yeah, it was a tough time for me.
Tough time. I feel you, man.
Yeah, better luck next year, definitely. Yeah. What about you, Ken? As having a dream run, right? Making it off the first week where you didn't even have to play the second week. How was it? How did you enjoy your first SWC experience? You were never in SWC before, right? Qualifier, online, anything. This is the first year, right?
Nope. Yeah, so I've been watching SWC probably since 2018, maybe. And then last year was the year I went to SWC Americas just to I just joined SSA probably like 2 weeks before, and they're like, oh, we're all going to America's Cup, so I decided to go. Met everyone for
yeah, that's the first time I met you.
A little bit before that.
That's the first time I met you.
Met you first time.
First time I figured out that you were from Hawaii as well, right? You lived here, but then you moved to California.
And then I lived there, I think, for the first time too.
Yeah, we all met there because we all joined SSA like 2 weeks before that after our guild died, and then we all went to America's Cup.
Right, and then just just watching, and then I can't believe I made it this year. Right, I pulled Ragdoll Pater, and that helped a lot.
A lot? That's an understatement. I'm just kidding.
It helped a lot to make it in. Yeah.
Then, it still takes the player though. I mean, you're a smart player as well, so I mean, don't discredit that. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it's pretty nerve-wracking just doing the matches. I thought it would be easier just because I'm sitting at home playing normally, right? But you get kind of, I don't know, time goes by a lot faster for sure. 30 seconds is not a long time. Nope. It seems like a long time when you're doing ladder, right? But especially when like your opponent doesn't pick until 30 seconds, you're like, hurry up, you know? And that's, yeah, and I liked it. I'm glad I didn't fight the second week.
It's a tough week,
It was tough. I would have had to fight Thompson, and that would have been tough, right? But I'm glad I made it, and thank you for all the support.
Yeah, we're rooting for you, man. I mean, you started streaming as well, right? I mean, that's the part you left off on as well, is that you started streaming and whatnot a little bit more in, was it like end of last year, mid last year, like beginning last year?
October last year.
Last year, but then you started streaming a lot more frequently, I noticed. Yeah, like a lot more, like in like January, you started streaming a lot more, I noticed. So yeah, it's good to have you the community streaming and whatnot. It's great to have met you. Do you remember? I think I still remember the first time I really actually talked to you. Do you remember that? No.
Talk to me.
Yeah, IRL. Yeah.
I think we're next to like Keith or something, right? And Ricky.
Was it then? I the one time I remember, which I shouldn't remember, was when we were drinking at the Korean barbecue, and then you were telling me you're from Hawaii. I think I remember that. It's a story for another time though. But anyways, how about you? How about you, Tyler? What did you enjoy? Did you watch the America's Cup? I'm sure you did, right?
I did. So I ended up watching most of it yesterday and the day before.
Well, I mean, you were on my peanut gallery. We watched it for the first week.
The first week.
But you weren't on the second week for the losers bracket. But how'd you enjoy everything overall so far?
So I thought it was kind of weird because everyone's like, oh, these people are so much of an underdog, and I was sitting there like, I don't really think they're that much of it. Like, sure, we have favorites, but I don't think they're that like nearly as much of an underdog as people are saying they are, right? Like, do you guys feel like the difference in strength of players was really that great this year compared to like other years?
Everyone thinks they're underdogs because they haven't seen an SWC before. So anybody who's new to SWC, you're immediate underdog. Even though you could have been a top 10 player for years on, just never applied for SWC, and you're here now. I don't know what the story is for all the players that are new.
I just find it really strange that everyone thinks that Ricky is like a huge underdog.
Yeah,
he's like Ricky streams and shows all of his everything 24/7. So like everyone knows what he has.
Ricky doesn't want you to know this. Ken Baller and Ricky are underdogs. Don't tell the other competitors that don't know, man. Okay.
Ricky's got the LDs. He's definitely not an underdog. He's a good player. He's a very good player. Like, yeah, but there are a couple I can point to that are definitely underdogs.
Go ahead.
There was a Gianna pre-ban on a Fate memory, or a Gianna pre-ban on
Heaves.
Yeah.
I don't think that was an underdog. I think that was a lack of preparation.
Doesn't Paul Panda do that every year?
That makes you an underdog. Lack of prep makes you an underdog.
True.
I know this might sound rude, but I think doesn't that just make you bad?
Wait a minute.
I think there's a difference between being an underdog and doing something that is just outright bad.
Not good or bad. I'm just saying he's an underdog. Let's just leave it that way.
Imagine going against me in like SWC and you just banned any LD Nat 5 that he's like, why? Why would you ever do that?
Because it's funny.
Very well, like,
because it's funny. Because it's funny.
Yeah, but then you lose.
Because it's funny.
And then what?
Because it's funny.
Oh yeah.
Because it's
They're
funny.
like, oh, I could beat you without banning your monsters. You know?
The thing is that Gianna pre-ban is the reason why he just immediately lost the first match. Because he was like, oh, he has no idea what I have. I win.
But he does that every year, right? Last year he did that too.
I mean,
oh, he got baited. Jeff says he got baited. That's
it's because of profile picture, right? It's a profile picture,
he does
right?
That every year he does.
Right, but the profile picture has Gianna in it. That's why, right? That's what a lot of people are saying. But I don't know if I fully buy it. I mean, what do you guys think?
Should I
put Gianna on my profile picture?
Oh no.
You should. You know, you should put something in your repertoire. You should put like a Jaeger in your profile picture. And people that don't know, I mean, I think America's Cup, the thing is that everybody in America's Cup kind of knows each other, you know what I mean, to a certain extent. But I think if you guys make it past that, like if you make it past that and you go to the actual worlds and whatnot, I would put Jaeger in your profile picture because they might actually think you have one, right? Because you have like ragdoll, so they'll be like, oh, you know, maybe he's a Jaeger, you know, and it might work.
All right.
It might be possible.
Maybe bad is a little too harsh, but I really do think like if you're playing at that level, you should do your own research, you know? Like if people are telling you he has a Gianna, like unless if you know them really well and they're credible, then clearly you have really bad friends. And if they're not credible, you shouldn't have believed them from the start.
So
I don't know. I just think there's no excuse to like have that kind of like just unknown pre-ban, you know?
The preparation for SWC takes a lot more than that. You have to like have spreadsheets. You have to write down what monsters they have, the speeds they're at.
No, but that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like he didn't know that Heaves didn't have.
You know,
like, he didn't know Heaves didn't have a Gianna, but he believed someone who told him he had a Gianna.
No, he's just like that. He did this last year too. I was in the same bracket as him last year as well. The Dream Joseph him and.
He also didn't go very far last year, so.
Maybe Gianna's not the ban.
Maybe Gianna's not the pre-ban.
Gianna is not the Waterloo, confirmed. Pre-banning the Gianna is his Waterloo, though.
I respect it. He just doesn't care.
Yeah, so speaking about like best games, I think that my favorite games are every single time someone picks Sierra and I hear Chris go, wow, Sierra's really good now with those new artifacts. And I'm like, yes, it's true.
It's true.
It's true.
Hey, we did a video on it.
Every single time he says it, I watch the Sierra miss every single bomb, but still do a ton of damage.
It's so stupid, dude.
Exactly.
It's so stupid.
My Sierra landed like probably like 2 bombs.
My favorite part of SWC entirely
was bad. Sorry,
out of the 3 days that was streamed, my favorite part of SWC was when Make It a Bud said he fap fingered it.
He did say fat.
He doesn't even know. Pepe laugh. He doesn't know. Somebody please clip that from that actual stream. Oh,
it sounded a lot like you said fap finger.
Sounded like you said fat finger, dude. Everybody's like, huh? What?
Fat finger?
like with a
I'll
P.
take your side, Chris. Don't worry. You said fat.
I said fat. There we go. We got stoked back.
No, it doesn't matter what you say. It's what we heard. We all know that's the fact. All right, it's what we heard, not what you said. Okay, that's what we go by, baby. Yeah, he said fat.
Just like in Stoic's head, it sounds like Arda, but when you guys hear it, sounds like Autumn, right?
What'd you say?
Same thing.
True. All right, any other good matches? I did release a video recently because I wanted to post up, and highlight that match between was it Fall Panda? Was it Fall Panda? Was it Fall Panda and was it who did Fall Panda play? Fate Man. He used the blue shin in that, and I thought that was kind of cool. Right? We don't really get to see that being picked very often. I think that was
Thompson too.
Yeah. It got banned though. It got banned by Thompson.
I liked Igor ES's style, just like no foot, always on the gas pedal. Aggression, no mollies, none of that. None of that.
No healers.
Just gas pedal. We're going for the throw. I love that type of play.
Nice. How did he do in the tournament again? How did he do again? Did he make it?
He was close, dude. He was
close? Never mind. Okay, just wondering.
He just kind of misplayed a lot versus Tree. But
yeah.
He didn't
I think he was. Igor misplayed a lot. It was his decision making. He had a lot of very strange decision making.
But he had the tools there to make it happen.
True. So let's talk a little about a little bit deeper in the matches here. How do you feel about all the matches overall? I felt there were a lot more like weird picks and bans and weird like misplays this year than ever. But maybe I said the same thing again last year, right? Obviously nerves and stuff kick in, but I felt there were a lot of mistakes, right? We were like casting it, we're kind of like going over it, and we're like, why'd they do this? Why'd they do this? Why'd they ban this? Why'd they do this? It was interesting, very interesting.
Also, are we only talking about Americas?
We can talk about Americas, and then we can branch to the other cups after. Yeah, same topic.
I mean, nerves, right? When you're playing, time goes by fast, and you don't always like see things simply and easily, which is what you're supposed to do. But B, it's just like everyone in general is just a better player now, right? Your decision making is cleaner, so you're aware of more things. Back in SWC 1, people barely counted attack, right? You don't watch attack bars when you do things. Even to an extent, SWC 2, you don't really watch attack bars. Now in SWC 4, not only are you doing that, you're counting turn orders of draft coming out with and without speed lead. You're maybe even calculating down to percent of hitting. Like maybe I'll take turn 2 if I have X% chance of being resisting. You can get down to that technical, and people are getting a lot better. So
and then there's another layer now too. It's like, okay, if I'm going for an aggressive draft, what kind of artifacts do I have to take into account for? What am I? There's all these like extra little things that have been added every single year that make it more and more complex, right? Like, was it last year? People started really getting into the concept of tick rate, right? This year, artifacts are out now. And we know that like some people have farmed out seriously good artifacts, right? Like Josh's artifacts are crazy good.
All right.
So like every year just gets another level of things that are more complex and more things you have to take into account between every move.
I agree. Also added to that, this year as well, you have now instead of just thinking about picks and bans, everything that Make It About stated as well, you have the added thought process of, hey, I just procced, he has a higher chance. Hey, he just procced, I have a higher chance. This all factors in, right, to like kind of determine, all right, I actually have a really good chance of proccing, or I got to be careful, I need to use this to play safe because he has a really high chance of proccing now because I've been proccing, right? So it adds a layer because of the 5 up, 5 down, right? So a little bit more thinking that's involved when you're playing. It's another, I feel, layer to think about as you're playing the match now, not just counting cooldowns as well. So, yeah.
Do you guys think this year there has been more fair procs compared to the previous years?
I feel like we've seen more just in general because they have that. I guess you could say almost the same, but more because it feels predictable.
You won't see the Diana going 4 times in a row this year. So I would say but anything short of that, yes, it's more fair.
I think we don't see the like extremely unfair moments where it's like, wow, that unit just procced 4 times, like you said, right, Chris? But overall, like the proc rate between players is really going to be the same as always. It's going to be dependent on how many turns a player actually takes, right? Like if you're getting Ganny at Thord, you're going to proc and the other guy's not going to proc because that's just how that mechanic works, right? When we watch the matches, I think that the proc rate is almost always in favor of whoever takes more turns, which is why turn cycling is so strong right now, right? Speed buff is so strong.
Well, you're gonna proc the same rate. It's just that you're gonna get more procs because you're taking more turns. But your
sorry, yeah, that's what I mean. The percentage should be the same, but the number of procs for the match duration.
If you're gaining Hathorn, you will actually gravitate and converge down to 12% because you're just constantly moving in front. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in general, though, typically with the change to RTA, typically what you'll see is that, like we discussed here, it's kind of average procs, right? You're gonna see more procs in either side, but the big factor is the entertaining factor is who gets the procs that count. Because, you know, we all know we all feel like we get the procs that don't count, and the opponent gets the procs that do count. It's all about when. So that's what it comes down to. We did see some lucky procs and some lucky moments in the matches, though. There's quite a few of them, but it kind of made it exciting.
I know Topa V had a match where early his opponent was procking a lot, but the late game procs Topa V got mattered so much, and he won I think like 2 of his matches with like late game procs.
Yeah, and then he did have a match where he procced too much and he procced out of immunity and he got destroyed because of that as well. So he got unlucky.
That early. He was early with procs and got wrecked early.
Yeah. We saw it happen. It's like Yun Hong's exposed. Oh. There he goes, damn it. Oh, that was sad.
All right, any of the other SWCs you guys want to talk about? I know, Tyler, you said you wanted to bring it up, but in general,
Voodoo was so much fun to watch. Like even if the plays were weird and they didn't really work out, Voodoo is probably the most fun player to watch.
He's my favorite.
He just picks the weirdest things.
Well, what did he pick?
So he picked the 5 dark draft. He also picked the dark art master with the wind sniper. Yep. And then he also picked the Katarina cleave.
Yep. He's a player that I like to define as a good player because he's able to adapt and play so many different styles. You know, it's like you know when you go up into a tournament, right? You want to win, but also he's displaying his skill. You know what I mean? Being able to understand and play a variety of different comps and being able to use them appropriately, I think was kind of cool, right? Being able to see those moments and use them, right? He used like we said, he used that Dark Beast. I mean not Dark Beast, but Dark Art Master with Wind Sniper. Like, bro, we never see that. Right, Katarina. I mean, we've seen it, but in ladder maybe once in a while. But in tournament play, like what the hell, man? And then he was able to do Molly Vigor, right, which is very standard. He was able to do the 5 dark draft. It's just he was able to do so much. I really wanted him to make it through because I think he would be like he would be a fun player. He would be a very, very fun player to like watch. You know, he kind of has a lot of fun when he plays. Kind of reminds me of Judas's upbeatness. You know what I mean? Where he's like very happy and fun. That's kind of the vibe I got from Boodoo. I call him Boodoo even though it's Boodoo. I don't know why I call him Boodoo.
I actually slightly disagree with that.
Why?
You said I think that makes him a good player. I think that his rune quality and his roster carries him a lot. But like when you watch him actually play, the decision making is not necessarily the best. And a lot of the times that he wins with the unique drafts is because people banned wrong. Like the Katarina cleave, it shouldn't have been the ban that he made. It should have been the ban the Katarina. You don't need to ban the Kabesan off. It doesn't do anything. You ban the Katarina, he has no damage. You win.
How does that affect him though? Because he drafted that in, right? And his opponent banned
that. Didn't he have Hurtate too?
He did, but that still wasn't going to solo win for him because it was too exposed in the draft. My point is that he looks really good because he's picking unique things, right? And it makes him look like a very strong, unique player. And because he has all these drafts, it's clear that he has a lot of rune depth. I don't think that necessarily means that he's a good player, though, because for me, and this is a personal aspect, I think a good player is somebody who is incredibly skilled at drafting and incredibly skilled at understanding what's going to happen and planning 3 turns ahead, right? 2 of the most incredibly skilled players, I think, would be Jeff and Thompsin. Watching Jeff and Thompsin play against each other, it was very clear, as Chris said already, that Jeff knew exactly what was like. It was so technical and down to the T. Jeff was like, I'm confident this is going to be what it is, and it won on it, right? I feel like for me, that's what makes a player like really, really good. Less so on your rune depth, but more so on your ability to actually play the game and draft it. The entertainment value is always great, but for me, that's not what makes someone a good player. That's what makes someone a fun person to watch or an entertainer.
That, for my definition, I guess everybody has a different definition, right? For me, he's a definition of a good player, right? For example, even in tennis, like in tennis, there's a lot of players that are on the top. I don't think that they're the best players. I actually think a lot of the lower ranked players that are a lot more entertaining and fun to watch, and are can demonstrate a variety of different strats inside tennis are good players. But that's my definition, right? You have a different definition. I have a different definition, and right to whatever your opinion is. But I wish he made it through in the long run, which I think we can both agree on. It would have been nice to see him make it through. That would have been pretty dope.
Man. It would be fun to see somebody pick like another all like 1 element draft or something in SWC. Like, can you imagine winning with a 5 element draft? That's not like 5 insane LD 5s together, like the dark draft with like Han Nefties or something. I think it'd be fun to watch something like that.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Any last words you guys want to add? I don't know if anybody want to add anything for SWC, but if not, then yeah, we're looking forward to SWC coming out in October, right? I think the America's Cup. What's the official date? Right, just so we can kind of announce it. Right.
24th.
24th. All right, 24th of October.
Ribeye caviar night.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. But yeah, 24th of October should be America's Cup. That should be very exciting to see as they duke it out. And 4 make it through, right? Or is it 2?
No, 2.
Oh, okay. So that's going to be interesting. That's interesting. But there's going to be best of 5s, right? Obviously, I think semifinals and probably finals.
I think it's best of 3, and then your last 2 matchups are going to be best of 5s each. And then first place, I think, is 10K, and then I think it's first place gets 10.
Okay.
Next one gets 5, and then the 3 and 4 get 2.5 each. So if you go in and you win one match, you'll get 2.5.
Oh, I thought everybody gets a little something. But you have to make it through the first round then. I see.
I think so.
Fair enough. I think that's true.
You get like a player box where they're like, here, have some stuff because you made it to America's Cup.
I mean, I can't already have this player box, so I think they got some devils and things like that. But yeah, it's $2.5 grand for the first win, another 2.5 for the next, and then the 5 for the last. And then when you go to Worlds, it's ridiculous. You win one, you get 30K off of that. So.
Do you win anything at Worlds if you don't
Is it
win
30?
one match?
I don't think it's 30K. No.
No, the prize pool is 210, so 8 players. So 100 goes to first.
I thought it was like throughout the whole thing.
I thought it was 100 for first.
No, that's the world finals.
I thought it was 100 for first, and then it was Thompsin. What did you win last year? Was it 20? Was it 20K, or what did you win last year for a second?
Dude, I'm not even sure, man. Yeah, it was like I know America's Cup got me some, and then I think America's was 10. Wait, hello.
Yeah, we
can hear you. America's was 10.
America's was 10, and then finals were like 20 something.
Yeah, it like dropped off. Yeah, I was like 100K, and then second place gets like wow. So it's 120, and then I think it breaks down even further, right? So unless I don't know how you broke it down.
I think it goes to like 5.
Yeah, it goes to like 5K, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I think they've increased it this year, but
you think they changed the structure of it this year a little bit better?
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning they have the overview slide, and so the regionals is 20, but then the world finals is a 210 prize pool. I think that's for that tournament. So it's a lot. It is a significant amount just for like less top heavy, but just like, dude, you win a match, like for some people that's breaking even. You know?
Yeah.
Some people that's a lot more than breaking even.
Depends on who you are.
Yeah.
For some people, you're still in the hole.
Some people, that's chump change to some people. Isn't that crazy though?
Yeah, that's so crazy, man. I mean, the person that I think it's the most chump change to out of any competitor in SWC, it was definitely Tomato. That's for sure, man. That guy is freaking. I mean, not to say anything, but dude, I see his face in all these like $1 million poker games on like live video. Like, what the hell, bro? How do you sit on a table with $1 million in front of you playing poker against like pros, man? Like, what the heck? Is that the same guy that's playing Summoners War? What the hell? It's crazy, dude. So crazy. But anyways, moving on to topic number 2 here that we got lined up today. Topic number 2. All right, Street Fighter units. Yeah, we're going to continue to talk about them because the community wants to know what's good. Thompson, you have some of them. Some of us here, we've seen some of them. We've used some of them as well. What do you like so far? Obviously, these are not RTA playable, right? More Guild Wars, Guild Siege, and PvE content. But what do you like? What's cool? And anything about Street Fighter units? Yeah, what's OP, what's garbage? Feel free to start off.
Let's start.
Yeah, there you go.
Light Chun-Li is sick. Light Chun-Li is super sick. She does so much damage. And she's 120 base speed. Does anyone disagree?
I don't know. I don't even know.
You still need if you're drafting it in RTA, you still need like 2 armor breakers to move in front of it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But everywhere else in the game, it seems like it hits hard.
For like Guild War offense, yeah, it's great.
Can you use her in like the Julie slot of like a standard Lucian cleave?
She won't deal enough damage. She still needs armor break.
Okay. Yeah, because Julie gets bonus damage based on beneficial effects, so like she might not actually.
But and
fill that
she
role
also
out.
has to do. I think she does more damage if she's faster than you, right?
200%.
Pretty fast.
Yeah.
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 So she's a good combination with Light Bison. Ooh.
Light Bison base speed though, man, it's hard.
I think
97 or 96.
Underwhelming though.
I think all the Bisons are kind of weak. Personal opinion. Have you guys figured out how to use the water one properly?
I think the dark one is probably the only winner.
The worst for me. I've lost almost all guild wars using him.
What about the wind one?
It's weird. Wind ones feels weird. I mean, like
it's
if
weaker art master, no? The wind one.
Yeah, it's like a chun pump, but less.
His stats are so weird with his scaling because his third skill only scales on attack, but his second skill scales on HP.
Yeah,
I don't know, it just feels really weird.
That is really weird, actually.
Chris, have you used any of the bisons?
I don't have a bison. No.
I mean, you haven't played on anyone's account yet?
I have 2 Dark Chun-Lis and that's it.
Do you like Dark Chun-Li?
I haven't ruined it.
No, her kit's really cool.
It is really cool, and it seems like it has so much use. The one thing I'm a little hesitant about is like low base speed. So like any type of AoE stripper on low base speed is generally
Is it low? I thought she's 105.
That's okay. It's okay. But
I thought it was 120 when it first came out.
Yeah,
the light one's
nuts. The light one's nuts.
Needs a buff.
I mean, all these things we're speculating. Anything you can speculate for RTA because it's not RTA usable this year, but I mean, they will be used next year. So it's gonna happen, right? So whether they're OP or not, get them ready because we're gonna be seeing them in actual RTA gameplay for sure.
I think they're gonna tweak them before they come to RTA. Personally.
They could get better. Yep. They could get even better. True.
I think for 21 units being introduced to the game, I think they came in underwhelming. I don't think they were going to introduce 21 units and say, good luck. These things are all like insane, which I don't know if that is great for a collaboration with another company introducing units that are not super great.
Hey, Dark Ryu says hold your tongue.
Well, yeah, yeah, Dark Ryu.
Well, we still don't know how good it is.
The LD Nat 5.
At the moment.
I think they're going to get reworked. They're definitely going to get reworked.
Dude, what do you mean is Dark Ryu good, man? Dark Ryu is nuts, bro. On paper, on stone, in the sky, in the ground, in a box, with a fox.
His stats are pretty good, too.
He's nuts, dude. He's absolutely bonkers, bro.
Just gotta see how it is in RTA.
Yeah, it'll be good for the players that play like that draft that way, right? It'll accentuate. So players with, Nefties,
a lot of people using the Fire Ryu.
I want the Fire Ryu really.
Yeah,
much.
I heard that thing is nuts. Tell me why.
With the Molly.
Oh yeah, that's the one that glances, right?
Yeah. If he counterattacks if you glance him.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have been using him with Molly and anything.
Wind Monkey is a common one there. Yeah. I want him because that's the defense I'm building because I have 2. I might actually consider building 2 if I get 2 of them because I have 2 Mollies. So if Molly doesn't get nerfed, then that defense is really good for a long time.
Yeah. But I haven't used him either because I don't want to use Devilmon on him if can't use him in RTA yet. So
yeah, it's so hard to Devilmon Street Fighters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we get another event that lets us skill up a little bit more of each of the Street Fighter units. Because I know we have the one right now for the free Ken, right? But I'm hoping that they release another event that either gives us a bunch of Devilmon or says, hey, here's a Devilmon exclusive to Street Fighter units or whatever. I think that'd be kind of cool.
More Devilmons in general.
Street Fighter Devilmon. That's the next pack coming out in a month. Street Fighter Devilmons. Right? Devilmoning any Street Fighter unit you want. That's
so what about this? Do you think for the collaboration, they should double the TOA rewards? I mean, it's not a lot to give out. It really isn't a lot, but I think that would be pretty cool.
The TOA rewards are specific to the Street Fighter score, right? Like my legendary will be a Street Fighter.
No, it's gonna be stage 50.
So they're saying
so instead of 2
stage
mystics,
50, the 2 mystics.
Yeah, instead of 2 mystics, you're gonna get a Street Fighter scroll, and it's only for normal. It's not gonna be for hard. So it should be hopefully more accessible to everybody in the game to be able.
Well, anything hard, they should have hard be double the rewards.
But I feel like they don't want to gate any players that are kind of neat.
They should just double everything.
Okay, all right, fuck it. Let's just double everything. I'm in agreement. Fuck it.
The thing is,
what do we have to lose?
It's like it's not even that much of a reward, right? We get 1.4k more crystals for everybody. We get 2 extra Devilmons. We get 2 extra LDs, 2 extra legendaries. Like it's really not that much to give us, and it would be really cool if they did that because then it would also incentivize the players who are like starting out to like really push for that kind of goal.
Right.
Have you guys tested like Fire Ryu in Guild War? Do you guys like it? I asked this last podcast. Do you guys like it more on Vamp or Despair? Because like I tried it on Vamp. It's actually pretty good with like good artifacts,
Yeah, I think Vamp keeps it a little bit more alive, and you can bring it in as that fire tank and rune it like a bruiser type, and it would be a good fire tank, especially if you have a Molly. Have you tried it out with Molly at Thompsin?
You're holy shit.
All right. Okay.
That's why I'm here, baby. Keep it going. Keep going. That's why
He's
I'm
on
here.
fire today. He's just roasting us down here.
Just keep it going, bro. Keep it going. Hopefully you get one though. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time, dude. It'll happen. It'll happen. But I think he's pretty cool. Yeah, I think he's pretty decent. I'd like to get him. I think he'd be a great fire tank, honestly. I'd root him as a good bruiser to do damage, but also I think he's a good fire tank. He's not going to take that much damage too. It's going to glance 50% of the time. If you pair him up with anybody that does glancing debuff, I mean, they're going to be glancing 100% of the time, man, pretty much. Right, for the most part.
I think for me, the coolest thing about him is that he also has an attack lead. So, like, he actually has a kit that synergizes with his passive, which is not super, super common. A lot of units are like, their passive is like, it's just like, cool, here's a standalone passive that's really good. But like with Fire Ryu, it's like, hey, let's give him a passive that's pretty good. Let's also give him an attack lead. Let's also give him the right stats to make him a good unit. And then let's just give him a lot of RNG so people get mad.
Too bad he doesn't do that much damage though. It's hard to really tank and do damage.
And his branding is not like too accurate as well. It doesn't land all the.
It's 50%, right?
I don't know. Mine's not Devilmon. Maybe it's because it's not Devilmon. It doesn't land all.
I really like
Bison. Like if Bisons could land provoke more often, it would be so good.
I mean, once you Devilmon, right? Maybe it does go up a little bit, so it's possible.
Like I use the Water Bison. I have not win like one Guild War offense yet. Yeah, it doesn't provoke.
I see. The skills are pretty cool though.
I really like the skills though. They look cool.
Yeah. If only there was. I know you were hoping that they have multi-element Kens, so you could try to get one, right, Ken? But hey, at least everybody has.
At least I got a free one. Yeah.
At least we got a free one. It's true. It's very true. I'd like to see Fire Ryu. How good do you think it'd do in that standard comp, the one that people do the Galleon Clara one, right? Since typically when you bring in a unit in there, it's a unit that does damage, right? And it's a unit people target first, right, or try to counteract first. But now that you have it in there, it's kind of hard to kill it, right? And it's kind of scary to kill it if it revenges you. So. Is that good enough or what? I'm talking from not knowing.
Doesn't do enough damage.
No, it doesn't do enough damage. It was only good. Like
would the Water Ryu be better against that comp?
The what?
The Water Ryu be better against that comp?
Oh, sorry. Do you mean with the comp?
Yeah,
or
with
the comp,
with the comp. I mean with the comp is what I'm saying.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Because like when you use that, you have a unit there that people try to target first, right? Where it's your Clara or your Lucas or whatnot. And now that you have that, at least he's a little bit more survivable, right? So. You kind of
you don't want two of the same units on that comp.
Oh, two elements.
Same element.
Oh, double fire.
Like Chun-Li. Just put like Chun-Li there now.
True. You know what I've been trying? Rujin from Malicious actually told me to try it a while ago, and I only started recently.
You mean from SSA?
I mean,
he's in SSA now.
Oh, he's in SSA?
Yeah, he is.
What?
You didn't know this, right?
Bro, I'm fucking on Asia server, man. You think I hear everybody that farts in global? Bro, relax.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
I don't hear all this shit, bro.
You lurk every single Twitch stream.
I should have known that. I didn't pay attention.
No, yeah. He moved to Malicious this week. Or moved from
he moved Malicious this week. Oh, so he went to SSA, but they went back to Malicious. What are you saying? What? I'm missing out. Okay.
He's in SSA.
Okay, whatever. Rujin in some guild out there. In that. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say that one guild, but that's T1. Fuck. All right, fuck it. Never mind. All right. But yes, he gave me the suggestion of using Light Vamp, and it's been actually pretty good. Right. It's actually. I think people have a harder time with it with the Galleon Clara Light Vamp. Right. I think people use the Savannah in there, but I think the Light Vamp's not bad because you can't kill it. You know what I mean? And now they're kind of forced to like go the other direction first, and then you have this huge nuke. Right, that you have to keep up with, and he scales on speed, so he's pretty cool.
And the Light Vamp will hit whatever it wants to hit.
Yeah, it'll hit anything it wants to hit too, which is true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does Light Vampire not have the same issue as Miho though? You can just Orochi it.
It could still die to dot, but you have to time the amount of damage correctly, right? So if you don't do enough damage and he's not low, then he'll he'll still survive it. But
how much? So when he steals HP, he goes to full again, right?
Steals HP.
How does that work? When he takes the HP from his allies, does he go to full or does he take equivalent to?
I think he takes 10% from each of them. He takes 10%, so whatever 10% from each of them is.
So I can't imagine that being good enough against the Orochi because you're taking from a Galleon and a Clara.
What do you run with the Orochi comp then? What is
Orochi Bernard? Orochi Bernard +1 is what people use. That's why you need Will in the Miho.
Oh, how do you guys kill it? No, it's on Will. Everything's on Will. So how do you kill it then when it has Will? Because I mean, obviously you have the Will full Will. Right, because it's a unit I use in Guild Wars, which is already on Will. right? I don't see light vamp root on anything else besides Will, right? The one time I put it on Nemesis because I was stupid, I got my ass roasted by Josh, Fate Mem. So I never put any like damage dealer on Nemesis ever again. That's literally the story on me and Nemesis, right? And that's why people ask me, hey, do you put Nemesis on like challenge shit? I'm like, nope. I'll put Nem on any kind of damage dealer, bro.
I think
Don't do it.
I think it's hard with the light vampire too because his base speed is so low.
You also open it up to a 5-star. That's a 5-star tower, right? Versus like a 4-star tower.
Yeah, but I'm saying like you put it in towers with like Savannah, right? People have troubles with the Gatling Clark Savannah. That's the same tower that you might fit it in as a change up, if anything. But been testing it. It's been okay so far, right? But you know, Asia G3 might be different from global G3. So yeah, and the meta still stays the same, right? If you have a tower and you have more people in your guild that have the same units and you can keep doing the same exact tower, it's better than spreading up, having a multitude of different defenses, which we've talked about in the past to improve siege, and it's kind of boring because of that factor. But it is a factor, right? It's detrimental to have a tower with 5 different comps, right? It is just detrimental to have a diverse amount of comps in all your different towers, from what I feel. So there's that. Any other Street Fighter units? Dawsims? Anybody test them out? Like,
Dark Dawsim is really fun.
Wind Dawsim's the only one that I have, and I haven't even touched him.
I made a video with Sean B with the Dark Dawsim. Anyone who has like a speed lead Lauren defense, it's just like a hard counter to it. So the Lauren defense breaks and attack bar pushes the Dawsim, and then everything attacks and dots the Dawsim, but it doesn't matter because defense break doesn't apply. Bombs do no damage. Bombs can't stun you. So it's free. It's free. It's so free.
That's crazy. That's actually so crazy. Now, if you still see Laurens in defenses, you don't see as many of them, but if they are there, I mean, that's an easy clear.
It's super good for like the non G3 guilds because you'll see it a lot in G1 and G2 where people will run like Sierra Lauren or they'll run like Sylvia Lauren plus something, and it's like, okay, well, these are free, so like if you have a Dark Dawsim, it's great.
True. Yeah, and people in those ranks have troubles too. Yeah, go ahead.
It might be good against the Dark Desert Queen.
The Nerf.
The Nerf these. So he gets he gives 10% attack bar per debuff too, which is kind of cool.
Have you guys tried the Water Dalsim? He seems kind of good. I don't know. He's the one not double one, but skilled up.
What does he do?
If you don't attack him, he gets like extra stats or something. You guys want to check?
Yeah. If he doesn't get touched by the time it's his turn.
More interesting than like the wind and the fire one.
Right. Are you talking about for PvE content then? Or are you thinking about PvP?
Where you can control like Guild War. For PvE, I think it's gonna be hard to fit him in. But at least for Guild War, like you could like have an element that everyone attacks and then have him do something.
Right.
I think he armor breaks on second skill or something.
I see. So if you bring him into a comp where there's like fire units or units that won't hit him, he pretty much gets that benefit of not being touched every single turn, right?
Yeah, he gets the passive up and running.
True. Okay. Cool.
We talk about Water Dalsim and then make it a bud is like boring. It's not about that life.
I haven't played any new unit, man. I've just been busy with SWC and stuff.
Yeah.
And traveling back and forth. I just haven't had time. It's the Street Fighter skins. Like I prefer the normal monster skins. So.
A lot of people said that. Let me
get
your
people
opinions.
hate on the Dalsims, because like I know a lot of people that pull Dalsims like, oh, rip Dalsim,
Yeah.
Have you guys listened to the in-game voices for them? They're actually pretty good.
Yeah, they are good. They talk so fast though. It's insane. Like
the Ryu's really good. I thought it was doing very well.
We're gonna get like free transmogs when the event's over. Like, do we automatically get the new original form and we'll always have the Street Fighter version of it? Are the animations gonna drastically change as well? Because the Street Fighter animations are honestly outstanding. So to go from that to whatever these new ones are, like, what's the change going to be?
So a lot of people want to know about that. We will what?
I'm 100% under the assumption that is how it will work.
How what work? Can you explain your assumption?
That we will be able to transmog it back and forth if you own the Street Fighter version of the unit.
I don't think so. I personally don't think so.
And they'll treat it like an RTA transmog, where it's an unobtainable transmog, but if you have it, you can just freely swap back and forth. That's how I think it'll work.
See, this is something new that we haven't really seen in games, right? By the game actually doing a limited edition unit and then releasing another look of that unit to legally, right? Not with that IP contractually, legally have that unit in the game so everybody in the future can obtain, right? The way it's traditionally done is they do a collab, right? Game does a collab, they get a limited unit, and then after that, nobody can really get it again until they do another collab. That's just how it works, right? E7's had that. A bunch of other games have done that. So this is something new. It's cool. But I think what I feel is going to happen is that you're not going to be able to transmog it, right? It's not a matter of what I really, would like to happen. It's what I think will happen. Whatever you summon now is going to be a part of the collaboration, and that's what your premium is to obtain, and you have that. Later on, those other units will look different, but we're not going to get a skin that's going to let us go back and forth. Right there, I don't know if Comp2Us would want to contractually get that in the contract where like, hey, we want to be able to change a skin back and forth, right? It would be cool, but I don't think it's actually happening. I really don't think so.
Comp2Us is so far ahead with their collaboration idea. Like, no company, like you said, no company has ever done this, right? Every company that does a collaboration signs an IP contract and says, hey, we're going to do this for blank amount of time, and then it's limited. You never get it again. If we decide to renew our contract with you, maybe it can come back in the future. However, I think that Comp2Us really, really thought ahead with this because they've never done a collaboration. Well, they've never done a large-scale collaboration like this, right? I think that they thought so far ahead that they already have it in the works. That's my tinfoil hat moment of the stream, of the podcast. I'm absolutely certain that they did this because that would make them a lot more money.
How so?
Because it would just make people happier, right?
Okay, I mean, to that statement, I guess it can relate. But...
So here, right? If they announce afterwards that, or like let's say like the last 2 weeks of the collaboration, and they go, hey, we just want to let you guys know that if you manage to summon it on a Street Fighter unit, then you can swap it between the two. Then anyone who is like saving to get the non Street Fighter versions, but they really like the units, or the units are good enough for them, right? They're gonna be like, oh well, maybe I should just summon them on the banner now because I have a higher chance to get them. Right, your chance to get like the Street Fighter scrolls themselves are a really high chance to get the 4 stars if that's what you're looking for, right? And it also gives you a way higher chance to get any of the LD versions of these units, especially the LD 4 stars. So if you're like a light spender, I think it makes a lot of sense to do it that way if they make that announcement and you don't want the Street Fighter version of the unit.
True. I wish they would have just been more like open with, everything that happens. So, I mean, hopefully, Comp2Us lets us know soon on what they're going to do, right? Because no matter what it is, it's going to come down to logistically I think people cease to understand the logistics of working with another company and collabing. There's a lot of detailed stuff that goes into it. It's real, like other companies that you collab with, like especially like IPs of this magnitude, Street Fighter and stuff like that. They're real picky. You know what I mean? Like what you can do, you have to get everything approved. So it's gonna come down to what they've already agreed upon before doing this whole thing. So I wish we'd find out a little bit sooner.
I think it will kind of suck too if you pulled one of the Street Fighter ones. And let's say you're someone that wants to complete the Pokedex, then you won't have the other unit lit up if you can't change it back and forth. So I don't know what they're gonna do.
True.
I'm leaning more towards Tyler's idea though.
I like that idea. That's what a lot of people have been hoping for. I hope so as well. But like in my brain, I'm just explaining my logic that I don't think it's gonna be happening. What's going to be interesting as well that we do know is that these units, we can see them in China server, how they look, and it's going to be awakened and unawakened form. So that's cool, right? So Street Fighter, your benefit of summoning it as well, it comes awakened already. But the other ones, it's, unawakened and awakened. So a couple other things to light up in your Pokédex if you actually want to light it up. But I will say that I like the Street Fighters because they're nostalgic, but the actual looks, what do you guys think? Do you guys actually like the other looks of them as well? I think the other ones actually look pretty cool as well.
I think the other ones look pretty neat. I want to see animations like always because these are sick animations, and if they transition and they start doing animations like those, I love the close-ups and the slow-mos of like the skills are really, really neat. So I hope they bring that back.
So what about this? This is another just like idea. What if in the last like 2 weeks of the collaboration, again, I'm going to say the last 2 weeks because then it gives people time to spend or like plan to spend. If they say, hey, for every unique Street Fighter unit that you've summoned, we will give you an original version of that unit, unawakened. Any chance you think they'd do that?
Like just double the number of monsters you got, basically? Or
no. So if you got like 2 Fire Ryus, you would get 1 Fire Striker.
Nah, that would be awesome though. I mean,
that would be pretty cool.
We trade them in for ancient crystals, so.
My thought about that is because of like you said with in China server they have the unawakened versions, right? I wonder what they're gonna do for the unawakened version to exist. That's what I'm curious of, Right?
Tyler's a dreamer, man. Yeah, we like dreamers here. I'm with you, bro. Let's make this dream a reality. If we believe, we can achieve.
For everything that I say that is realistic, I also must say something that is completely unrealistic, because then things are all in balance.
I mean, anything can happen. So I mean, let's just say we realistically know that, you know, it may or may not happen. But I mean, I'm sure we're all on board as a consumer. I mean, just more stuff, right? Who doesn't want more? I'm down. Get an extra Chun-Li, get an extra, you know, Ken or whatnot. That'd be kind of dope.
2 dark Ryus. Imagine having 2 dark Ryus.
Right. But that being said, if you me going back to the logical thought process, if that's something they wanted to do, I think from a marketing standpoint, they should have said that from the beginning. If they were going to do that, because that would get people to spend and buy the packs, and it would give more value to people who are buying and spending packs as well, right? Because if they do in the last 2 weeks, these packs actually are only until October. After that, there may be new packs for some Street Fighters. They may not, but this only goes to October. So the Street Fighter thing ends in November. So
I think they should let you scrim with the Street Fighter.
Yes, like Goodwill. Yes. Yeah. I was hoping they were gonna do that.
Do you guys know JLN2 pulled the Dark Ryu?
Yeah.
Hopefully,
really?
Okay, that I say it, but then like he can't use it, but you can't even scrim with it.
What's the point?
Bro,
what's the point?
Were you in the were you in the Discord, Ken, when he pulled it?
Yeah, dude.
Like the motherfucker's in the Discord. He pulls it.
He didn't say anything.
Everybody's talking to chat and he pulls it. He's in the Discord with us. He doesn't say anything. Jalen doesn't say anything. We're like, dude, how do you? He's like, yeah. Well,
and then we had to look in chat to see that he pulled it.
Yeah, man.
15 minutes ago.
Man didn't say anything. No reaction.
Wasn't even excited, dude.
Lucky guy.
Well, to be fair,
what to be excited about? You can't use it for SWC.
That's true.
Yeah, I think he was more stressed about SWC. To be honest, he was prepping for SWC.
He was that much.
But like, if Comptos hears this, like, let us scrim with it. You know, you can't use it in RTA, but let us scrim.
I agree. I agree. That'd be really nice. I was hoping that would happen because in the past I've done these types of videos where I'll summon for people's accounts and then I'll have them battle each other with what I've summoned. And it'll usually be Transcendence Girls, so they have 1 LDs and it'll be like level 1 units. They battle. I wanted to do Street Fighter Whale Wars, man. People buy the packs. I summon it. I let them like duke it out with Street Fighter. That would have been dope, cool. Dude. But unfortunately,
well, technically, you could kind of scrim yourself in arena defense, right?
Yeah, it's not the same.
They just won't make the best moves, but
yeah, true.
You can.
It'll be like playing in Goodwill rooms, anyways.
Wait a minute, relax, dude. Relax. He's trying to call everybody freaking bad.
No. In Goodwill, people do like weird stuff because they're testing all these different things. So like you see some weird decisions.
Yeah. All right, cool. A little bit more Street Fighter units.
Question.
Oh, go ahead.
About Street Fighter units.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Do you think they will add the original version of the Fire Ken to the Ancient Crystal Shop or the Ancient Coin Shop?
100%. 100%.
Right? I think they have to.
And I'm buying it. Just to have it.
I think they have to.
100%. 100%.
Or a fusion. Maybe a fusion.
Nah, fuck that. They need to give us an actual real fusion. I'm not letting them off the hook for that. It's been almost 2 years. Give me a real fusion with a new family. I want the more units in the game, the better, in my opinion. Like maybe to a certain degree. Okay, to a certain degree. I would like new units, you know, every year. A new fusion. You know what I mean? One new unit that everybody can obtain. But I mean, not too much.
Angelmon Warriors. That's gonna be the new family. 5-star Angelmon Warriors. It'll be Angelmon with a sword and shield. And they got a little Devilmon riding on their head. Kind
of cheesy, but I'm down. I'm down for that. Just give me something new, bro. Just give me something new in that fusion. That'd be kind of cool.
But if you guys could have a unit in the shop, though.
If you could have a unit, what would you want it to be? Like if you could, like just like the fantasy design of a character as the new family, what would it be?
I would first off, I would make it a light and dark unit. So then you would have another one, so it's get closer to the feel of an LD Nat 5. Secondly, I would have something that would be maybe attack type, because I think attack type units are more fun. But I mean, Balaguer is the most recent one, right? But I like attack type units a little bit more. That's just my my.
I'll make Gianna fusible.
We have a lot of dreamers in the podcast today. We have a lot of dreamers. I won't shut down your dreams. Keep going.
I would love a Gianna.
I think all of us would love a Gianna.
I recently made Praha, and Praha has been kicking ass. But I forgot who pointed out. Forgot who pointed out to me. But basically, they said that Praha is like the poor man's Gianna, and I was like, oh, you're right. Praha just seems so OP, and I realized, okay, owning a Gianna must be that much better. I would never know.
If Praha's second skill doesn't sleep herself, should be so
Third
good.
skill. Third skill.
Third skill.
Oh
I mean.
yeah, dude, yeah. The sleeping
All
itself
she
is
does if she doesn't sleep herself, I would so use her every game.
Or if Praha's second skill is the same as Lima's Awakening, oh, that'd be pretty good too, I think.
What is Lima's Awakening?
You get 100% harmful effect rate on skill 2, and you slow debuff.
Yeah, right now it's 90%.
All she needs is that third skill, no sleep on herself, and she's very usable.
Honestly, that would make it a lot stronger. 10% more on S2 actually is a big difference on the consistency of stripping. 90% of activation rate is kind of monk-ass, to be honest.
Oh, but it's the slow debuff that makes it really strong, in my opinion. Like, Lima slow debuffs, and then like if you control somebody, they're controlled and slow debuffed.
They should just have equality, right? Sierra drops a bomb. What happens after she drops the bomb?
She dies.
She gets another turn. Lima and Praha should all get a turn after stripping, so they can S1 for damage and turn cycle. Yeah, baby.
Into heal sleep.
Yeah, baby.
Cycle is so fast, dude.
Yeah, baby.
Jogun needs that.
Yeah, Jogun needs that.
What about Juno get like 20 base speed or something, or 15 base speed on Awakening?
Okay, now we dreaming, and now we like above that now.
What Juno's Awakening is accuracy, right?
Just to make it more speed.
Juno's passive should give her increased speed based on how many debuffs she has. Every debuff she gets like 20 speed or something.
Gross. You guys are disgusting. You guys are so disgusting.
Just give Juno Narsha passive. Every time the enemy takes a turn, you get faster.
Oh, you don't want Narsha passive. Trust me.
Or give Juno the Tetra passive.
Cleanse everyone's buffs or debuffs.
Yeah, by one turn.
That would hurt herself, right? Because like she won't heal anymore because she's cleansing everything.
Or make Juno's passive.
She cleanses herself too. Yeah.
Dude, they need to buff the art masters, not.
I think they will in the next battle patch. Honestly,
Oracles in fact got buffed, so
yeah.
The artifacts make them really strong.
All right, Street Fighter units, great conversation. I think this conversation will continue as we find more comps, right? I really think that some of these units for the Street Fighter collaboration will probably be seen in a lot more Guild Wars and Guild Siege. It's just a matter of if we can figure out, those good combos, those best combos. Or maybe it just turns out they need a buff, they need an update, right? But that being said, there probably will be some changes, like Stoic said, before it goes live next year, so in RTA. So we'll see what happens. All right, we'll definitely see what happens. Topic number 3. All right. Let's talk about QOL, quality of life suggestions, right? There's been a lot of great things added to the game, right? They made it a lot easier for us to, play the game on the daily, right? Just logging in, playing the game, a lot of quality of life changes. One of the biggest things we'd like to see is artifact management, as well as, I'll let you elaborate on that though, I'm just going to state it first, as well as one thing that they did add, which I really like, is the seeing of the stats of a artifact, right? When you hold on to the artifact, it tells us what the min and max are for that, particular stat for artifacts. That's cool. I like that. They should do that also for runes for the majority of players. So adding on that, you guys can elaborate a little bit more, as well as what other suggestions you guys have to improve the game further. Quality of life stuff though.
They might as well do the same thing with
the min-max does anything. Like, I think you all learn that over time anyways, but like the manager, dude, that's one of, like, we need that. Like, it's give me more space. That, like, when I was driving on my road trip down, like, you know how dangerous it is trying to sell your artifacts while you're driving? Super dangerous and difficult, man. I need more artifact space so that this is not a hassle, right? So number 1, more artifact space. Number 2, we do need a manager. Like, I can't see what's equipped, what to give me more options on what to change to. It's just a giant mess right now. It's really
not seeing what's equipped is probably the worst part about it, because you're like, I think I have this artifact, but I don't know where it is.
That's the worst part of it, because right now, if you use the exporter, you can see which artifacts you have, but you just can't find it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the exporter the swap version doesn't help that much, because like, at least if I'm going to search for a base stat, I need to search high to low, right? So that's one. I can't search high to low on that. And number 2,
you could search for you could search for the stats in the optimizer.
Yeah, but it doesn't sort it from high to low for me. So that's 1. 2, I need it in combination, right? So like a lot of times your artifacts aren't just like increased damage by speed. It's I want speed, defense, HP. I want multiple. So I want to be able to filter 2 ways, right?
I think you could do that. I'm pretty sure you can. In the optimizer.
I had the $15 one.
Yeah, me too.
By the way, there's a new $15 optimizer out, which is like super fast.
Yeah, it uses your GPU, right?
But yeah, I haven't. I need that pretty bad.
But the problem is I can't find the artifact. Even after the root optimizer, figured it out for me, I can't find the artifact. It takes forever. It's like, which monster is it on and stuff, But optimizer is pretty good with it for now.
Yeah. So you guys talking about the artifact management, right? Yeah, I think they're trying to implement it. I think they just haven't figured out exactly how they want to do it. And this is my speculation, right? They did say they're going to be putting auto replay in the game. And they said specifically it would get released in the first update this month in September. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is they also, hinted towards that they're going to have the ability to be different from other auto replays, which is the ability to do rune stuff and artifact stuff while doing the auto replay. That's something that we've never seen in any game before. So with this added in, I feel like this update will also have an artifact manager update. Now, this is a little bit wishful thinking, but I think that might be in there to kind of ease and help people out to be able to do runes, do artifacts while auto replay is going on, right? So a lot of things that are interesting with that. Go ahead, Tyler.
They actually put out a notice that said that wasn't going to happen.
Oh.
They found an issue with what was going on, so that's going to be coming eventually.
Oh no, but they said it's not.
It is
coming...
better that it's not being released as a broken product.
Wait.
Well,
so
it depends on what's broken.
Like they just said it's not getting released September, right? But everything else is still valid.
No, they said
right?
it's not getting released in the first update in September.
Okay, but everything else is still valid, right? Of what we speculate and what they did hint towards that it's going to be different and it's going to be, upgrading runes potentially. Oh, okay. So all that is fine. All right, it's just when it's happening. Okay, cool. Good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes things like runes powering up being 2 times faster wasn't as intended, but those are great too, right? So,
right.
I would still like that functionality.
Wait, did they say? I have to ask you this though. In that update notice, did it say update is preparing? Because if it did, we're fucked. Because that's what Dimensional Hole said for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? They were all so clueless, bro. That joke went right over their head. You guys forgot.
How did you guys feel like Dimensional Predator was this month?
It took a lot. It burned more than one energy. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
What?
I think I got mine on my second try. Maybe third try, maybe.
I thought it was
I got on my
easier.
second try. It took a long.
Yeah, and then mine.
I tried to be unique. I brought out a light team. The light team didn't work. And
Try to be unique.
I thought about bringing a wind team, but that didn't work.
The fire team is so easy.
Yeah, I did the fire team. The fire team worked.
I used Velajul with Rauk and Shina as my damage healers.
Same. Yeah. Oh, not Shina, but yeah.
Used Blager.
What did you guys? What do you guys pick? Which rune did you guys pick?
I picked the speed slot too.
I did too. The spare one? Oh yeah.
I picked the Nemesis.
I picked the Nemesis. Yeah, it was between those two.
The attack one.
I didn't like the
It
Nemesis.
was very
one.
clear to me to pick the Nemesis, but I don't know. You guys.
What did you take, Stoic?
I didn't like the Nemesis.
Will HP slot 2. Only reason because it was potential out of replacement.
That one's good too.
Okay. What'd you take, Ryan?
Wait, but that's HP.
I think HP slot 2 for Will and Speed Despair slot 2 is actually the 2 best choices for a majority of players, unless you are a player that needs a specific rune. And for players that want the best probability of the rune hitting to something that is actually usable, it would have to be the HP slot 2, right? And the speed slot 2 would come second, and the attack would come third in terms of probability of it rolling into the stats that you need, right?
Under the assumption that you're not re-apping it. That's true.
Right, and I assume most people won't be re-apping something like this because ancient re-apps are very rare, right? Despite what endgame players say, and they try to re-app things instantly because it can give them immediate value. I think it's something that you can't buy, right? You only get 2 a week, so I think you even have to be more frugal with these ancient re-apps.
I would have re-apped mine if it didn't roll well.
I'm not re-apping it.
I may or may not have re-app slot 2 Speed Despair Ancient before.
That one's close. That one's close on the line of being usable.
I may or may not.
Juno's OP.
Also, as a note, I know it doesn't apply to any of us because all of us do PvP, but if you are not a PvP player, the crit damage accuracy rune is actually really, really, really high value to you. Because it allows you to min-max your teams better. If you're trying to do these crazy weird speed teams, you're running less accuracy on all your units for consistency, but you're running you're running less accuracy, you're running the accuracy set. So like my Punisher, Crypt, and Steel Fortress teams, I run accuracy sets on my Rauk. I run double will accuracy on one, and then I run accuracy set on my moving my Verd to a Swift accuracy set. So then I need 0 accuracy on all my runes.
Yeah. So why did you say slot 6 was the easy choice for you, Thompson? Is it because you needed that, or what?
I mean, it's a attack percent with speed subset. That's always great, right?
But if you hit anything else, it's pretty garbage. Right?
Good.
It's like three stats that potentially can die, right? Crit rate is nice, but not that crazy on it, right? The other one was like accuracy and resistance.
And resistance, yeah. Resistance is not bad too for attack.
So probability wise, when you take something like that, you're telling yourself, okay, I'm YOLOing, and if it doesn't, am I really gonna react? Right? That's
also like a despair slot 2. Like how many units you need a despair slot 2, right?
That's why I'm saying that one is more based on your account if you need that, right? And the argument of taking it is fine because I think there's grindables in there, right? The only one actually there's none of the stats on there that you want to avoid. If you hit accuracy, that's fine. If you hit a lot of accuracy, that's fine, right? It's value for a slot 2 speed, right? Accuracy or crit rate. So I think that's fine. And you get the max grindables. I mean, one thing I learned from Chris from a long time ago was the value of these ancient runes come from actually the grinds and the gems. So maximizing the ability to grind and gem these runes is where the power comes. Not taking those runes that, just rolled while it looked good, but maximizing potential grinds and gems is the real big power.
One is more enchantable and grindable than the despair one.
Is it? You're only going to be able to get 2 max.
Stuff you could take out. Like the despair one seems already good as it is. You don't need to enchant anything into it.
Right. Maybe I'm thinking of it wrong, but I don't know.
Right? Or it's missing one of the main stats. It's
missing HP percent. It's attack it's missing defense percent. It's attack HP, accuracy, and resist.
Either way, mine rolled like shit.
Yeah. So. I double max for I rolled mine to a max purple. I double max rolled accuracy and I max rolled the HP.
Oh,
and then when I gemmed the defense in, I used a legend. So I used a legend HP grind on my rune and I rolled 5. So that's 4 legend grinds I've rolled 5% on now in a row.
Damn.
I've never rolled anything higher than 5 on my legends for ancient runes.
Damn.
Dude, this is legend grind we got. That rolled a 5. That was pretty sad.
Let me change this real quick.
Well, at least you got the rune to use it on.
Predator discussion. So yeah, I mean, I have some disagreements, but I mean, I'll kind of want to learn, right? I'm just gonna state what I think, and then you guys tell me what you think. But I think again, I still feel like HP slot 2 is for the will was like insane value. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like you rolling it, and if you statistically take 1,000 players that take it, the probability that they would roll it and keep it, you would see a significantly higher amount of people that would be keeping a slot 2 HP that with those substats than a person who took the speed or diminishing to the attack. I feel. Because first off, I mean, are you really going to re-app the attack slot 6 NEM? Right? Without an innate, your probabilities are like 4 times worse, if not more, with your re-app, right? So less value for your re-app, which is unpurchasable and only obtainable twice a week. Speed slot 2 for Despair, I think, is reasonable to re-app because it's one of the easier re-apps to hit in terms of, your 1 through 6, in terms of getting stats that you would probably be able to hit and the amount of re-apps you'd probably throw in to make it usable, right? But that's kind of like my breakdown and my thought process right there. Maybe point out some flaws or some.
Do you want to go first, Chris?
Yeah.
I mean, I just think the slot 2 is great because like you just gotta dodge one of accuracy or resist, right? And 4 rolls on the rest, and you're good to go. Mm-hmm. The Despair rune is also the same value compared to the Will one because you can use it as an offset rune. It does not have to be part of a Despair set too, right? That makes it pretty valuable. And HP slot 2 is usable basically on like Skogels, Wadams.
It's just siege units.
I think that's false. I think we're seeing more players starting to use it on units like Vanessa and units that don't need to take turn 1. Actually, statistically, right? Sure. You don't want to use speed slot 2 statistically for units that don't need to go first turn because you get more value in stats off speed slot 2, assuming that you can get enough speed on your stats.
That is understood, but you like in terms of rolling well, I think the probability of the Despair one working well is higher.
Okay, I can see that.
And the Will one didn't have an 8, right? Did it?
None of them have an 8. None of them have an 8.
It didn't have an 8, so you really kind of needed to roll well as you're re-apping it. So, and if you're going to use a slot 2 like that on a Vanessa, it has to carry speed. It has to carry, and not just speed, a good amount of speed for it to make sense. And again, no wasted
rate. Or crit rate.
Crit rate. That is what you're missing.
Speed because otherwise, that's a lot. that you're going to have to use speed runes on your other runes then to make it at least 90 speed, right? Vanessa still can't be like dirt slow. So, that's why I think the slot 2 is greedier. Not to say it's bad. I would just say it's greedier. And you could almost argue higher end if that's literally what you're just chasing. Like if I wanted to make a very specific super jacked out Vanessa or Sierra, sure.
Fair.
But top on that one.
Fair. Okay.
I think if your account is chasing speed, like the despair and the will one is probably the worst one to push you to the fastest speed, right? Obviously. So
sure. And that's where the nemesis one comes in. It's like it's quad or nothing at that point.
Yeah. Triple is fair. I mean, if you triple that, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Triple with the ancient grinds are actually pretty good though.
Thompsin does not use it. Thompson's like, this is garbage.
Right,
I can't use it.
The thing is that what I wanna go back on like maybe it will change some of our opinions here, but the advice I want to give here is for the general population that's gonna be playing the game, watching these podcasts, and gonna be having the decision of what do I take. Right, these are assumptions based upon a little bit higher end players. Is that not true, Chris? Right, because even though we're saying
I agree with that, Brian.
Yeah, because like you're saying, Vanessa,
Brian, like if people want to like push for end game, and let's just say like I think in your lifetime of getting despair slot 2 runes to use, you'll have more of that. But then having like a nemesis slot, slot 6 attack with speed substats is like a lot more rare than getting like the despair rune. It is like that for me, but I don't know about you guys.
So for me, I looked at them like, what did I need? You know what I mean? Like I looked at all those runes. I almost picked up the Nem rune myself. The slot 2 will was clearly a rune I could have had a replacement for Ada. And I did see the despair as well, but I just don't need despair slot 2. So I think if everybody understands their rune box and knows what they need, or even understands their play style, that will rune was a great bruiser rune. Can be used on a lot of things. So I understood it, and I went with that slot 2, but I almost went with that slot 6 Nemesis rune as well, though. So that was my other decision.
When it comes to like explaining to players why you should pick what you should pick, I think you can actually generalize it fairly easily. If you focus on Siege, you're most likely taking the HP slot 2 because Siege utilizes a lot of units that have an HP slot 2, right? It's for offense and or for defense, depending on how well it rolls. When you're looking for Siege offense, the attack percent Nemesis rune makes sense because there's a lot of really good offense units that can use the attack percent. Plus, attack percent slot 6 is not necessarily the most commonly well-rolled rune for people. When you look at the speed slot 2, the reason the speed slot 2 I don't think is a good pick for a lot of people who don't focus on RTA or high-end Siege is because with Despair, oftentimes those units are supports. You can usually get away with using a weaker rolled speed slot 2 on your units, and it's okay until you start doing high-end content, which is like high-end RTA or high-end Siege, right? So there's going to be a lot of like the mid-game players and a lot of people who don't push all of these different types of content that won't necessarily need the speed slot 2, or will say, okay, I have like 3 or 4 speed slot 2s in Despair that are like blue plus or like max blue with grinds and stuff, and that's going to be good enough for most of those players, right? The Endure rune is a throwaway. No one cares about that. The Accuracy rune is like so niche to only PvE that it's not really worth it as a dimensional hole reward. And so it really comes down to, do I do Siege and do I want the HP slot 2 for like a Skogul or maybe a Kamoon or something like that? Or do I want the attack slot 6 because my attack slot 6 is probably suck compared to the rest of them on my account? Because nowadays I feel like unless you're farming Necro to get into BJR5, people don't really farm Necro anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish the Nem rune was crit damage. That would have been sick.
Oh, that.
Yeah. Slot 4 crit damage.
I would have picked that up. Yeah. That was Nem crit damage.
I don't have any of those. I need one of those.
Honestly, I think that slot 6 Nem, if it just got one more slot instead of accuracy or res, and it went HP or defense percent, I think it's 100% take for like almost everybody. Like it just would do. Yeah, it's just so much more value, right? So
Nemesis runes are actually, it's always been not bad to have Nemesis with high resistance though.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So maybe the accuracy take it out and add it in, the HP or defense, right? I don't like them together. I don't like res and accuracy together too often. True. Yeah, I don't like crit damage and accuracy either kind of together, but I mean, it depends on the unit, right? It's very specific. So my take on like the suggestions I give for my community or in general from what I have learned so far is that I think that players should take and play the game at the highest probability possible in every way, shape, and form, right? So when it comes down to runes, I'll always give them the advice, take the one that will give you the best chance to hit it something good, right? The best chance that you'll roll it, it hits something good. Same if you buy rune packs or you open up, whatever rune stuff, right? Take the thing that will give you the highest probability, because this game's a game of probability. The longer you play, the more you play, the higher probability you have, the more sample size, the better your account will get. And then overall, you can start rooting up your units whatever way, shape, and form you want after that. Secondly, an additional factor is look at your account and see what you're missing and take accordingly the highest probability thing that will roll good and the thing that you are missing in your account, right? And using those two factors, I think, will lead players to the better choice overall for their account of what they should take, So I think, but everybody has a slightly different opinion. Overall, it's nice to see that these runes are really good. It's nice to get a nice rune every month. It feels good. Feels great. I don't think we'll ever get any nates from them, but maybe in the future we'll get that crit damage well, or HP slot 6 well, or something like that. Yeah, that'll be the easy choice. But all right, good discussion there on Predator. I want to bring it back to one more quality of life discussion here. One last thing. And it was going back to the talk of grinds and gems. Now, we did talk about this in the past, and I'm going to bring it up one more time and see what you guys think about it. I talked about this with Faraz and DJ KJK on a past podcast, and they were giving the suggestion that grinds, in specific, should be, permanent. And what I mean by that is it should get easier and easier to roll it as you hit it. So let's say you're using a legend, right? You hit 5 to 10. You hit a 6. Your next one is no longer 5 to 10. It's now 6 to 10. If you hit an 8, the next grind that you put in there is going to be 8 to 10. And I think that would make it easier for people to be able to grind up their runes. What are your thoughts on that? Because
I think that's bad.
You think that's bad? Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about
so much armor shit.
Because they already do that with grinds, right? So, or gems, right? So,
well,
I don't see why they
no. But the thing is that it only keeps it if it's better, right? If it's not better, it doesn't keep it. So basically, when you're gemming or grinding, you're doing the roll probability of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? But if it hits 5, then it's 5, right? So this would shorten the probability that you need. So let me know what your thoughts is. Continue on. Sorry about that, Chris. I cut you off.
Oh, that's fine. Forgot where I was.
The bad reason why it would be bad.
In the long do you need a moment? You good?
We've already sorry, I gotta work on that.
We've already invested so much.
We've already invested so much into grinds and gems. Like, by doing that, you're changing that completely, right? And also, you kind of like when you look at runes, you go, "Holy shit, that's a good rune!" Right? You're like, "Wow." You know how much time someone's put into grinding and gemming that damn thing. But the minute you do this now, it takes away from that reward factor. So I think there's a point to keeping it the way it is. And
that's true.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, it does devalue a little bit.
It'll make the immemorials way more worth it,
I mean, that's good for us, right, as a consumer.
Right, that is. But then just the people that buy them, they'll just be way ahead. Right.
Okay. I mean, so the reason it's not going to happen is because it's bad for business. It just doesn't make sense.
Yep. That too. At the end of the day, bottom lines and profits and money talks, right? Money talks in this world. It drives a lot of decisions. That sounds like a bad money-making decision.
So the reason it doesn't make sense is because at that point, it's just like you've it's the same logic and the same reason why grindstones and gemstones have overlapping ranges, right? If they didn't have overlapping ranges, there would be literally no point in keeping anything below it. Like once you get to a certain point, you just don't keep anything, right? You no longer keep re-rolling them because you still have a chance to get something good, right? Like when you're becoming a super endgame player, you're never re-rolling purples anymore because it's just I'm just gonna wait to get a legend, or I'm gonna buy a legend and just do it from there, right? It makes the player feel like there's no chance unless it's a legend, because people will always compare to only the top end, right? They're gonna sit there and they're gonna be like, well, it's not 10%, so it's trash. It's I'm gonna have to wait so long to get this 10%. Whereas I get the 7%, I'm happy with the 7%, right? I as a consumer, it makes sense. You want it, right? You want it because it makes it easier to upgrade things. It totally makes 1,000% sense. As a business stance, it just doesn't make sense because it's why do we need to reward them more for what they're already doing, right? And then it also comes in. It's okay, well, what about all the people who have spent hundreds of thousands of grinds and gems who have just rolled shit on them. It's like, well, those people are going to complain, and then it becomes this huge spiraled issue, right?
Well, what about the hundreds of thousands of people that have, spent money in the game back when you could summon and packs weren't as good value, and you could summon fusions and you can't summon fusions now, and the people that bought rune packs before that were garbage that increased and have updated every single time, that have bought immemorials that have gotten better and better in the game throughout the years, right? I mean, it's something that's always happened.
You're not changing the pack value or the money value spent in the game. You're changing the base part of the game itself. You're changing how the game itself works.
There's a difference. Exactly. So Tyler's hitting on the point where, like, yeah, we're getting more stuff per pack, but your mystical scroll is still 1 in 200. It's not like we get a pity system where the more you summon, the more likely you are to get. Tyler summoned 500 some LD scrolls. He is not any more likely to get an LD the next time he opens one, right?
That's true. That's true.
That's the exact point we're making here, and he should not be more likely to get it. Even if you were to summon more LDs, it's if they were to change that, there's an issue.
I mean, going back to what I said though, right? I mean, taking out the fusions. I mean, I summoned a bunch of fusions back in the day. That's hindrance on my summoning rates, is it not? Since you want to talk about the rates being hindered, right, to any percentage or any degree, that technically hinders it, right?
You mean like it was a Devilmon for you?
What's that?
Or like because you spent monsters to fuse it, you mean?
No, because back in the day you could summon fusions, now you can't. And I did summon fusions. I mean, that took away from my value, right? They changed that, which is innately changing the value of what, in a way, right? But I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Very indirect. It's very small. Like, because the pool's so wide, maybe to change your rate by like 5%.
I like this. We have some disagreements here. I like this.
The thing is, they didn't change the actual summoning. Like Chris said, again, it's still one mystical scroll is a 1 in 200 chance, right? That didn't change. Your chance to get a monster, a very, very specific monster, had a ever so slight change into it, right? And that ever so slight change doesn't quite feel like the base game mechanic of it to me, in the same way that, like, when we're talking about like rolling gems and grinds, right?
Okay.
Like, I get it, and it's a very close line. It's very close on the gray area in that scale, but I still lean more towards what Chris is saying here, when it's like, if we change the base mechanics of the game, or the way the game itself works and interacts, then you cause a lot more disrupt to things, versus if you change the value of things that are being added.
Okay. Fair enough. Stoic, what's your opinion as well? I mean, I want to go kind
of also before Stoic starts,
okay.
I want you guys to be clear. Like, we're not saying this because we don't think it would be great as like a consumer. It's like, sure, I'd love more upgrades, right? It's just it's not realistic, so that's why we're bringing up that perspective.
That's fine. You don't have to defend yourself on that. I like it when we actually have disagreements. That's why. So we're good. No worries. Stoic, what's your opinion?
I don't really have much of an opinion about it. It's like, you look at how we've all received all the stuff in the past, and then they're just kind of trying to make the game better. I hate seeing the game becoming too easy, and that like everyone gets handed everything now. That's the only thing I'm against. It's like we know where the game was, and we understand how tough the game was at a time, and the game has only gotten easier. And then just being someone looking in, and then seeing new players come to this game and just watching them complain about like certain things, it's like you don't even understand how good they have it right now. And I hate seeing it just get easier and easier and easier for newer players. But then again, we want people to like this game, and that's how you bring in new people as they get stuff as well, and then they get it's playing catch up. You know what I mean? Like, these people want to catch up and want to be end game just like everybody else, and I get that. I do, but I don't know. That's kind of.
We're going. Wait, hold on. Hold your thoughts. We'll kind of go around a little bit first. Kent, what's your opinions on it? I kind of want to hear everybody's general opinions first.
At first, I did like the idea, but hearing them talk, it does kind of, like the hours, like, okay, back then, me and Ricky, we would do BJR5 for probably 8 hours a day.
8 hours of BJ between you guys? That's fucking nuts. I mean, BJ5, sorry.
A day. Right, for
a lot of chafing.
Last SWC to this one. That's why our grinds have been a lot better.
I guys know. We have
but
secret.
Those hours spent, and then showing your rune that you made it this plus 10, right? Then it's, I don't know. It just shows that you put in work,
That's a lot of BJ, bro. It's a lot of BJ.
That's a lot of BJ, dude.
Yeah.
It was KB, actually.
That's why.
It was KBR5 before.
Bro, you see it? Now all you guys got to do, find a friend, do some BJs. I mean, BJR5s. Bro, both of you guys America's Cup. It's possible if you believe.
Homo, no homo.
Together.
All right, Thompsin, what's your thoughts on it? Let's hear it. personal opinion.
No, I agree with everybody about like not having the grinds too easy too. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Tyler, going back to you. Can you
So-
want to add on?
It's not necessarily about the gems and grinds. Actually, it's about what Stoic said. Because I'm super in hard disagreement with that statement and that perspective. And I know it's just an opinion, but I'm actually really, really against that opinion. So you said, I hate that people complain that the game is too easy now. And that, and then the reference and the example you gave was, back in my day when we came to playing the game, it was hard. I get it. I was back in those days too. But I also think that that's a very boomer mentality. To be like the back in my day, the game was hard and now it's easy. Y'all whippersnappers complaining about it. I think that game design and the marketing aspect of game design is built to nowadays it's built more towards making things accessible and making content good and comfortable. I think that the difficulty and the skill scaling will always come from the PvP aspect of the game, and it will not come from the actual like base mechanical game, right? People, especially with mobile games, people don't want to play a game that is extremely hard to play because that's not what mobile games are designed for. Mobile games are designed to have you either spend a lot of money or like spend a specific amount of time every day looking at it, right? So as the game gets easier and the like design of it gets easier, right? 2As come out, dungeons get easier, it gets easier to get basic level runes and stuff like that. What happens after that is the difficulty scaling starts to appear when you start to push towards like PvP, right? Or like any sort of player interaction level. It gets harder because people get smarter, right? The smarter you are, the harder it is to play against you. That's why I kind of just disagree with that. I think that that's a great perspective and a great direction that the game should move in. I think all games should become more... The base game should never be insanely difficult unless it's supposed to be like a challenge-focused game, right? Which generally are single-player games. Right, all really good and really successful games that are multiplayer are at the high end, gated by the fact that there are players who are just extremely smart and players who are extremely skilled compared to each other. Even in a game like Summoner's War with tons of RNG and, we have the gacha system for runes, we have the gacha system for grinds and gems, we have the gacha system for units. I think that the difficulty scaling of the game will always come down to the player versus player interaction level. I think at the base level, like all PvE content shouldn't be super difficult, right? The hardest PvE content we have now is Predator, maybe.
See, I understand. I understand where you're coming from, and I also agree, like 100%. And I'll be honest with you, I'm here for the ride. You know what I mean? Like I know where I came from, and I know how the game has progressed. And if they choose to change it, I'm not going to vote against it at all. I'm okay with change, and I'm going to be flexible with change.
Stoic. This guy's just a zoomer, bro. You and me are boomers, all right, Stoic? This guy's just a zoomer. All right? This guy's a zoomer, bro. You don't know what the hell he's talking about, man. All right. Nah,
I mean, they make the game easier. They make the game easier.
So maybe it came out as a little harsh when I said, like, I'm not saying like you are a hardcore boomer or anything. I'm just saying like that specific example of what you said is very much under the premise of that mentality, right? Because you said back in my day, like that is the exact.
Yes.
What that is.
Yeah.
And if you remember doing GB10 manually with Orochi?
I remember it manually with triple water imps. Yeah.
That type of
I remember 5-minute GB10 teams.
Yeah.
Double Tark.
I remember using Bretta in DB10.
So
killing the towers first.
Let me go back to the topic because I mean I'm starting to understand a little bit more, and you guys have swayed my mind a little bit too. But I just was thinking that if these grinds were, let's say they were changed, right? Obviously, from your standpoint, you think it's bad for business. I think that it's good and bad, right? It would be good and bad. It would push more value towards immemorials, so people would still buy them more, and the people that are currently buying them would still buy them. And what I thought it would do was it would kind of push up some of the players in the lower brackets, right? Whether they're free to play or casual spending, and it would make them a little bit easier to catch up on rune quality, so that you would have more players, push up and get closer to the top end rune quality. Because I feel like if you're at the bottom, right, every new rune change is a big upgrade. That marginally gets less and less at the top end, right? So this change won't do a whole lot for the top end. You guys will still min-max your crazy stuff, but it will give more mid-game players and early-game players a closer chance to get, closer and closer to that mid or end game, which would bring more competition and more players in, right? Even if you're free to play, because it would still be, difficult, but, at least when you get, the grinds and gems that you need, that the next time you have it, you have a better probability. I don't think it exponentially makes it easier, but I feel it will make it slightly easier. And even then, you still have to farm these violent grinds and gems, right? You make it, I mean, I'm saying it's still it's a better probability, right? From rolling a 5 to 10, then you hit a 7. Then you roll from 7 to 10, you got to go a 9, and then 9 to 10 to max it to a 10, right? It still takes a lot of grinds. Like, I think you underestimate how many violent runes we need for RTA, because since we're talking about that specifically, and how many grinds you actually still have to invest in that in order to achieve like a perfect rune. So
wait, what you want is a pity system on grinds and gems, basically.
It's not a pity. It just gets easier. That is easier.
That is a pity. A pity is eventually you'll guarantee it, right?
No. But the thing is that a pity is a guaranteed set amount with a guaranteed result. This is still probability, but a better probability every time. Right?
You don't want a pity. You want fail stacks, is what you're looking for. You want a fail stack system, so it's like
but when you say fail stacks, it has a more negative connotation. So why can't we just take it for what it is, right? You have a better probability. That's it.
Because it's not about the connotation; it's about what it is. That is a fail stack. That's exactly what it is.
Is that bad? Wait, okay, but is it bad then? How bad would it be then? I'm in the context that I put it in, right? I'm just trying to make it easier for players to play the game, even to get to RTA. But imagine how easier it would be for players to be able to do it with energy grinds, guard grinds, right? You make it sound like we get an insane amount of vial grinds, that this is going to be that easy for endgame players to max all their runes, right? It's still unachievable, right? To max all your runes, I feel.
I think this would have been good when you have 30-second R5s, I think that kind of helped us a little bit, where instead of a minute 30 runs, now it's 30 seconds, So we do get more grinds and gems rather than before.
True.
So either they have to change R5 to make it slower again to add that, or
piggybacking off of what Ken's saying, you get a lot of grinds, right? So that's the difference. When you're saying that it's a decision on money, you're assuming that the player is going to keep farming. They farm 5 hours today, they're going to farm 5 hours tomorrow, and in perpetuity. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that's a true assumption. Like, maybe players, including myself, will farm up till they get enough, because you can only get 6 runes per monster. So the game needs to dangle a carrot in front of you, where you're never done. The minute you're done or get very close to done, their revenue stops coming in. I don't need to farm R5 as much because most of my stuff is grinded and gemmed out. So therefore, I don't need to. They get money through energy being burned, packs being bought. I don't buy immemorials anymore because I don't need that. Now, I actually don't buy immemorials anymore. And if we were to give me some sort of a pity system for that, or a pseudo pity system, you need to actually look at the numbers in there to say, what's the player behavior? Are they more likely to continue buying? Is this going to lead to more dollars or less dollars? Mm-hmm. Rather than bringing players into the competitive scene, is that going to lead to more dollars? I don't know. But keeping something making them have something to achieve and attain and a goal to shoot for will definitely get you dollars. And that's the business decision that drives the math behind it that they're doing.
Additionally, with that, like in the value of immemorial, since you brought that up, if this were a thing, I think a lot of people would just buy all the immemorials and probably just farm runes, because it's with B12s being out now, it's actually just easier to farm runes than it is to get your grinds and gems, right? Grinds and gems are really hard to get because you're mainly looking for violent and will grinds, right? Whereas if every immemorial grind you get is already one violent or will grind, right? The value on immemorials is way higher, in my opinion, than the value on rune packs.
Okay, so I mean, I guess it's that easy to grind and gem.
Well, maybe not way higher. It's higher.
What you guys are saying is it's a reasonable difficulty right now to grind and gem, at least to a max purple level, right?
I think so.
To a 6%. I would say to a 6%, it's very reasonable for your average player. 7% is a lot harder.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just always, trying to advocate to, make the game more accessible for everybody, right? Make it a little bit, not really to say easier, because we've already had that discussion on it, but, it is something I see whenever I see people frustrated about a specific thing a lot, right? Which is, it does come down to grinds and gems quite often, because them trying to hit it, I mean, it just never hits, right? But I guess I'm coming more and swaying more to the sides of what you guys are saying. It makes a lot more sense logically, right? And we do have to say that we are able to farm BJ5s endlessly, right? They never bug fixed it or tried to fix it, right? Which I was thinking that they would have tried to stop us or prevent us from doing it, but we can do BJ5, so I guess we can get the grinds and gems pretty easily.
I mean, they actually made it easier for us.
Yeah, it could have been.
Boil it down to math to say, how much energy do I need to burn to get, a 7 roll, right? And if you make it easier, that amount of energy per 7 roll is a lot less. right? And if I only need 1,007 rolls on my account, overall my account lifetime, I'm going to spend less. That's why, from a monetary standpoint, I think it does not make sense to implement that.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right, it was just a cool idea that kind of sparked up, so kind of want to discuss it and bring it to a different light, right?
Great as a player, I think as a business that would lower the value of the business.
Okay.
People always talk about how like it's like, oh, you know, I need better runes. Like I always need better runes or I need better monsters. Like a lot of people honestly just need better grinds and gems. A lot of people have like they roll like 5% and then they're like, done. I'm done. I hit the 5%. We're done. It's like, no, you need a 7 or like a 10%, like depending on the rune, right? Like you need the more stats you get, the easier it is to do stuff.
It's a whole extra roll.
Right. When you look at like stats of runes, statistically, it's not super difficult to get max blue runes, right? It's a little bit harder to get like mid to upper rolled purples, but then it's like anything past max purple is like really, really hard to statistically get, to the point where it's like you basically have to use re-apps to get them, right? And even when you're re-apping them, you have to take into consideration all the different probabilities, right? Like if you get a quad roll and it's useless, it doesn't matter. Or if you get like a triple roll and a single roll that are all high efficiency, but it's like it's not the right stat, it doesn't matter, right? Rolling runes is a lot harder than people think. I think that grinds and gems, the real value is the fact that it's so hard to get a violent and a will grind. Very specifically, those two specific grinds are the reason why people farm BJ5 so much.
No, right? The reason is because you need a lot of them too.
Well, you can't target grinds and gems like you can with runes, right? With runes, you can craft violent runes, you can craft will runes, you can buy violent rune packs, you can buy will rune packs. That's why immemorials have become so good, because an immemorial is anything you want it to be as a pack.
Yeah, well, no, it's not anything you want it to be. It's pretty much all vials. Let's be real. It's real because
it's violent will Swift basically.
It's because the
for some reason want to use it on Swift.
I mean, but the magnitude of runes that you'll have that need the vial, it'll be more vial just because you need that much vial grinds. It's like literally insane.
So you know, like you've said that's why the money value comes from buying immemorials, because there are free ways to obtain a targeted rune set, right? You can farm, and then you can craft that rune set. Versus farming BJ5, there's no way to target violent or will. There's no way to target violent or will grinds in the game.
Fair enough. So maybe the better approach, let's just say if this is actually a problem and Comp to a season problem, the better approach is to not change the system, right? I kind of agree with that, the system of how we're powering up the grind, but they would just potentially make it an easier way to obtain, right? Maybe via crafting grinds gems, right? Via the ways they've made it already easier for us, where BJ5 farming, they no longer drop accuracy and, you know, fight grinds and gems in the same dungeon. It's separate now, you know, so they've, you know, made it more accessible to obtain. So I agree with that. I agree with that.
I've said this in other podcasts in the past, but I've always said, like, I want weekly missions or weekly rewards, right? Things that we do every week, or like monthly rewards. You know how we have like dailies, right? It'd be cool if we had weeklies that gave us like an immemorial, or if it gave us like grind and gem or something like that, right? Just more ways to obtain the potential for like the specific targeted thing we need.
Fair. Okay. Any last words on that specific topic that you guys want to add in?
Oh, speaking of that,
go ahead.
Do you think we should get more of those conversion stone grinds?
You mean more drops gems while you're farming?
Or like the ones you could buy like 3 a week. Seven a week.
The one that they were supposed to be feed a nat 5, but they took that out.
Oh yeah. Those were gonna be feed a nat 5?
There was going to be a third tier that was feed a nat 5 for a legend.
But they're not even that good, so it's like...
one a month. It would let you get a legend one a month, but you have to feed a nat 5.
That's not worth.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
So it was...
Sorry, what did you just say?
We're talking about your chances of LD nat 5 through this the street.
Yeah, I know. It's literally 0.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Well, that's what we're kind of debating upon, but I guess since you answered it, we can move on. Anyways, I opened it up to open discussion. Is there any last words or things that you guys want to add in or bring up? Anything that bothered you throughout the podcast that you wanted to?
I mean, it's very off topic, but I know our events, new events are going to be coming soon. When they always bring back some other events, the one event that comes to mind right now, and I think would be great, is the stupid power up stone event. I know it's going to come back. They always bring it back, and we get it at least a couple times a year that we have to deal with these power up stones because of the mana issue we all have right now. And they're probably going to do an artifact version of these things where if you're powering up your artifacts, it's going to be a better chance to level it up. because of the mana issue everyone's run into with these artifacts, I would love to see that event, the power up stone event, remove mana cost when using power up stones. Okay, I know we only get like 100 something of them, but if these power up stones not help your chance to increase, forget about that, because we already seen us blow through 50 and not get a successful out of them. Remove mana cost at least while using a power up stone, and I think that'll help out a lot of people with their powering up issues. Obviously, everyone would just save them for like the plus 12 and up, but that's where it's most expensive, and that's where you're dumping all your mana into artifacts and runes as well. When I see that event, I would really, really like to see a change to power up stones, and it be removing mana cost.
I like it. I think it's a small amount of mana. I mean, a relatively small amount of mana to what you need overall, but it's a nice touch. I like that. What about you?
I think after this this new update where they increased the mana you get from selling the artifacts, I feel like the mana issue is not as much anymore. Especially because you're not keeping everything anymore. Before you were just keeping everything because you didn't know.
There's a lot of people still affected by it right now.
But I feel like now that we know, like, from like Bud's videos, what are good artifacts, it's kind of easier to just sell them now. But yeah, I know what you mean too.
Yeah,
I like the power stone idea.
It's gotten a lot easier now with the reduction of costs for artifacts. It's been good. But again, I'm gonna go back to what I firmly believe in. I firmly believe there wasn't that big of an issue with mana. It's just because it's new. Everybody's doing the wrong thing. People were powering up things inefficiently. People were making plus 15s on garbage artifacts just because they wanted to and making those mistakes. So my example was people don't, power up 135s to plus 15 when you're just starting off the game, right? So early game players should not be plus 15 artifacts to begin with. So I think that comes down to the issue. But I'm glad they made these changes, and I'd like to see them add in more, what Stoic is saying, these events for the rune power up. What I would like to see actually is an event where it's double the usual amount of stones we get, and you can use it for either. I think, logistically it would be nice as well, right? You can choose artifacts or runes, right? Up to you.
How about we just replace the power up event and just give us the free +6 again?
I want to see the choose your craft your own artifact event.
Oh God,
bro, hold on, bro. You'll be able to choose and craft your own one +6 at the 7-year anniversary. Stick around for the next year, baby. Stick around. Coming soon. I'm calling it, baby. 7th year anniversary.
The plus your own runes is still better, right?
I know they're gonna do both, baby. They gotta outdo themselves, right? Every year.
Yeah.
Yup. You better believe it, bro.
Oh, I want that rune one to come back, dude.
That was crazy, dude. That was so crazy. But yeah, I like the idea, and I'm glad. I mean, the events lately have been kind of nuts too. Like this event going on with the Street Fighters, bro. How much mana and stuff are they giving out, man? It's like, bro, you open that thing, and it's like a bonanza of like stuff. It's crazy, bro. It's actually so crazy.
After you guys buy the event where the sticker one, what are you guys gonna buy after you guys could unlock it?
What is there to buy? Probably
mana.
Whatever the best value is. What's the prices and stuff?
Mana.
Well, how much mana and how much symbols and how much energy? I think
it's the 100 energy, 100k mana, and 20 of each symbol.
It's energy. Energy is the best value by far then. Because then 100 energy would give you way more than 100k mana, and it'll give you the chance of the symbols and give you the chance of the runes to drop. Right. So
50 energy.
Assumes your
it's 50 energy. 50
you pick the mana if you don't farm enough, or if you're just like, I need to upgrade stuff and I don't want to farm.
How much do you get for one refill typically? A 90 refill, not a 100 refill, a 90 refill? Do you get about like 200k? Or is it less?
You get more than 100k, but keep in mind it takes time to use that energy.
You also have to keep in mind that if you keep a rune, you don't make mana on it, right? You only make like 5k.
But that's value. So, I mean, if you ask yourself, would you rather 5k or the rune? You're always going to say rune, right? That's always exponential value. But it's only 50 energies, people are saying. So that changes it. That changes
it. Between 75 and 125k mana.
For a full refill, right? Or you're talking about 50?
For half.
Oh. I was thinking about the symbols.
Your runes sell for like what, 15k?
The symbols?
25?
The fuck? Nightly Gaming, is that you?
I was just thinking about the symbols.
Nightly Gaming, is that you, bro? But you should.
No,
you know what? You don't want to buy the symbols in the shop too, right? I heard those are good.
I'm not using it yet, but remember when you were talking about since there's DB12 now, what if they make a higher tier of the crafting where you only get 6-star runes?
Yes, right? I like that. Yeah, we talked about that.
That's why I'm saving up right now. I'm not using any of the symbols, but
oh, you think they're actually going to release
case.
that higher value craft?
Maybe, and it uses like maybe like double those. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope they do that in the future. That was my suggestion, was to be able to craft only 6 stars, right? At a higher cost, though, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that'd be quite nice, actually. Quite nice. Feels bad though.
You don't need to craft anymore because of B12, right? So.
Yeah, B12 kind of makes it less value to do regular crafts, to be honest. But I mean, what do you do with it if you have max, right? You have to craft, so it's yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you guys for joining me on today's podcast. It was pretty good. Had a lot of great conversations, great topics, deep topics. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast today. Make sure you guys leave those comments down below. I go through all of them, hear your suggestions, hear anything that you guys have, and potentially bring it up for future podcasts. Because this is the place we talk about all those topics that you guys have. So hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're going to leave the links to all their channels down below. Everybody does here stream. So make sure you guys check everybody out, and I'll see you guys in the next live streamer podcast. Peace out, YouTube.